The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your SuperChats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Aaron Glenn's job status has been a hot topic the last couple of days. SNY Jets insider Connor Hughes weighed in on the latest. We'll play you that and react. Dylan Tereman's going to join us. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Time to lose some games, bitches. You guys should be pros at this. They don't give out trophies for 4 or 5 wins.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go. Show number 2 on the day. It is a Thursday. Welcome in, everybody. Click the like button. Make sure that if you haven't already, you subscribe to the channel. We talk Jets every single day. Live show at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. And, of course, a post-game show immediately following every Jets game. Join the Patreon if you want bonus shows, access to our private Discord, discounts year-round in the merch store, access to exclusive events, and your name added to the intro. Big shout out to everyone on the Patreon, including our most recent member, Kevin. Welcome to something, Matt L. and the Gaba Ghoul. With that, we say hello to a man who is on my Discord. He is a Patreon member. DT, Dylan Tereman, joins us now. Hello, Dylan.
What up, Jake? How are you?
I'm doing all right. You know, I'm just trying to get through these last 3 games. And then for us as Jet fans, the real fun begins, the offseason, where we have picks and cap space and hope somehow always, I guess, gets restored for just a little bit for a lot of people.
Yeah, there's 3 games left. And as much as we're already turning the page into the offseason, it is kind of sad, though, right? Like, we only have 3 more of these, and then we have to wait all the way till September again. And I get it. It hasn't been the best season for this team by any stretch, but it's just like, damn, man, only 3 more games of this, and we're back in where we thrive, the offseason, our path to the draft and our Super Bowl, so to speak.
Off-season champs. Now, the Jets have actually made a move at the quarterback spot, so people are intrigued about this. We'll get to what Connor Hughes said in just a bit, but some transactional news here. The Jets signed former Lions QB Hendon Hooker to the practice squad. He worked out for them, and now he has a contract. Hendon Hooker is a guy that a lot of Jet fans connected to the Jets when they hired Glenn and then brought in Engstrand as the offensive coordinator, because obviously they were there in Detroit with him. But when they never signed him over the summer when he was released, I was thinking, okay, I guess they clearly think he sucks. But here we are in late December. Hendon Hooker is finally a Jet. Your thoughts on this move, DT?
It is funny how a couple months ago we were saying, oh, this might be an answer for the bridge option, familiarity with Engstrand, Hayden, Glenn. Obviously, now they got rid of Adrian Martinez. He goes back to San Francisco's practice squad because we thought Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields, or one of the two, would be healthy. And then all of a sudden, this comes down and we sign Hendon Hooker to the practice squad. So, I mean, this is the Jets season in a nutshell, right? We start 3, sometimes 4 starting quarterbacks in the season. I hope it doesn't get to the Hendon Hooker part, because for as much college experience as he has, only 3 games played in the NFL, all in 2024, only 9 pass attempts for 62 yards. And you mentioned it offline, and I kind of forgot about this. How do you sit well with Hendon Hooker having to play meaningful snaps when the team he was on chose a high school quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater, or high school coach in Teddy Bridgewater, in a game where they were about to go to the playoffs and Hendon Hooker was already on the roster? It's like, I'm not a big fan of Hooker. He turns 28 at the end of the season, like a week after the season ends. I don't remember.
Hooker or all Hooker out there?
I'm sorry?
You said you're not a fan of Hendon Hooker, but what about all Hookers?
Oh, shit. Did I say that? Oh, well, I am a fan of some, not Hendon. But,
okay.
but I don't know what his contract looks like for the rest of the season. And if you have to re-sign a 28-year-old who's thrown 9 NFL passes, like that's that's setting up for Darren Muji to get completely roasted by this fan base. So I hope he doesn't have to see the field. I would almost rather see Tyrod Taylor play, but it feels like he's going to be the backup, if not this week, maybe next week.
We'll see, I guess, how healthy Tyrod is and, the mysterious injury to Justin Fields. But, yeah, I mean, look, if he has to play, don't expect much, Jet fans. Honestly, you know what this could be? If you think about it, Tyrod Taylor's a free agent. You have Brady Cook. I don't think there's a chance in hell Justin Fields is back next year. So when you get to the offseason and, like, the offseason program starts, someone's got to throw passes to the guys that show up, right? Like, you have Brady Cook. Now you'll have Hendon Hooker, but Tyrod's probably a goner. No way Fields is showing up to anything that's voluntary. They're just going to probably work something out where he's, cut, release, June 1st designation, whatever, for cap purposes. You kind of just need, like, maybe just some, like, off-season quarterbacks to, like, get through the basics until you likely add a quarterback or two in free agency and then obviously the draft in April.
Yeah, if you want to look at it that way, you have Brady Cook and Hendon Hooker as your QB 3-4 battling in camp, and then you go add your veteran that we all assume they're going to add, whoever it is, right? Kirk Cousins, Jameis Winston, Kyler Murray, it doesn't matter who the name is. And then they add the rookie as well. So that's a nice little 4-piece at quarterback. Obviously, you hope Cook can beat out Hendon Hooker, one, because he's 5 years younger or something like that, even though Brady Cook is a bit of an older prospect. But I mean, that's just where we are at the nature of this position. And I feel like across the NFL, the quarterback position is very scarce right now. So if we had to play Hooker, no. But, if we had to bring him into camp next year, like you said, as like a warm body placeholder, perhaps they go the UDFA route again at the end of the draft and find like the other Brady Cook in 2026. And then you have those two guys competing. So I don't really anticipate a ton from Hendon Hooker being here, but it's another body that keeps Justin Fields away from this team, because I don't want to see Fields on this team at all, ever again.
Amen. Amen. All right, before we get to Connor Hughes weighing in on the Aaron Glenn hot seat speculation that Mike Florio put out there on his show yesterday, I want to remind people that every Jake Asman show, we play for prizes around here. That's right. The Jets might suck, but this community is the best, and that's why at the end of the show today, we're giving away a signed Chad Pennington football. So enter the raffle for your chance to win that at the end. Our huge shout out to one Rem fan who's the first to enter the raffle during today's afternoon stream. He is in for one by gifting a membership. Shout out to Chad Pennington, man. We can only hope whoever the Jets draft is as good as Chad, because when he was healthy, DT, that man was taking us to the playoffs.
Chad Pennington was so good that 6-year-old Dylan went to the mall with his brother and bought a $1 bill with a Chad Pennington sticker on the face for $5. Wow. That's how much I thought of Chad Pennington. And we didn't even get out of the mall, and my brother ripped the sticker off to prove that it was just a dollar bill. And so Chad was my guy for sure. First jersey, first football signed, everything was Chad back in the day.
Love it. Love it. Shout out to everyone who's entering these raffles and supporting the show. Reminder, we're presented by FanDuel. The Jets and the Saints Sunday, they are 4.5-point underdogs. We'll talk more about that game coming up. But I want to get into right now, DT, the comments that Connor Hughes made. And a huge shout out to the podcast Jet Afterburners for having Connor on as a guest. Really insightful conversation with Connor, who's covered the Jets for years. He's with SNY. And they straight up asked Connor about the Mike Florio comments that he made on his show, where he thinks there's a chance Aaron Glenn could be one and done after these final 3 games. This was Connor Hughes breaking down those exact comments from Florio and whether or not the Jets would actually fire Aaron Glenn after just one season on the job.
If there is any doubt whatsoever from Woody Johnson that Aaron Glenn does not have the ability to identify the right franchise quarterback, draft that franchise quarterback, and then create an environment where that quarterback can become a franchise passer and develop, they need to move on. Aaron Glenn has complete and total control within the Jets organization. This is not like when Robert Saleh worked underneath Joe Douglas. This is not when Adam Gase and Joe Douglas both reported to Woody Johnson. This is not like when Todd Bowles and Mike McCagnon both reported to Woody Johnson. They were not bosses of each other. One in charge of the team, one in charge of getting the players. It is not that. Aaron Glenn runs the entire Jets organization right now. I mean, literally, Woody Johnson at the introductory press conference called Darren Muji his sidekick. So Aaron Glenn controls this entire thing. I don't see Woody being willing to move on from it. And the underlying other reason to keep note of all this, and I think most people know this, coaching contracts are guaranteed. So every penny of it's paid. Aaron Glenn, from my understanding, is getting close to $13 million a year to coach the New York Jets. $13 million, or almost $13 million over the next 5 years is guaranteed to Aaron Glenn. You're telling me that Woody is going to fire Aaron after 1 year and then pay him $12.5, $13 million to not coach the team for the next 4 years, while also then paying another head coach $6, $8, $9 million a year to coach the Jets? Then if that coach fails after 2 years or there's some total disaster, you have to fire him. Now you're going to be paying Aaron Glenn, the coach you just hired and fired, and then a third head coach. Like, we're talking about a team that just had budget cuts a year ago. Like, I don't see Woody being willing to eat that money to just sit on his hands and be like, okay, I could see Woody being more involved next year if he's truly upset or questioning the direction. I could see him getting his hands more involved like he did with Robert Saleh when he started questioning him and things of that nature. But I would be completely and totally floored if this were to happen. Now, this is the Jets. The Jets, I keep saying I've never seen this before, and then it happens. I keep saying I feel like I've seen it all, and then I haven't seen it all. I can't see them giving complete and total control to a guy and then giving up on it after 1 year. There's certainly signs this season that would make you question it. I mean, the Jets were, you want to question whether or not they know how to identify a quarterback. They identified Justin Fields, and not only did they bring him in as a lottery ticket, he didn't win the job in training camp. The job was handed to him in training camp. He was the unquestioned, no doubt, like quarterback one throughout the summer. Tyrod Taylor didn't have an opportunity to win the job. Brady Cook didn't have an opportunity to win the job. I know from talking to many people on the team that in training camp, they felt that Tyrod Taylor was their best quarterback. And the Jets never gave Tyrod Taylor a chance to win that starting quarterback job. So you have a staff that was like, hey, we can win with Justin Fields, and there was a total disaster. We're going to make Justin Fields a quarterback, total disaster. And now you're going to trust those same guys to identify a rookie, draft them, and develop them. Yeah, there's questions, comments, concerns there. But ultimately, I don't foresee him giving up on it after 1 year. I don't. I took that Florio report more as him speculating and trying to read tea leaves and not actual reporting.
So I listened to that, and I agree with almost everything Connor said. The one pushback I would have is I don't believe the money is as big of a deal to Woody Johnson as some have made it out to be. Again, this guy just spent $250 million to buy a soccer team. He's got plenty of money. I think if push came to shove and Woody wanted to make a move, he could. I don't think it's about money. I believe it's about ego. And again, I've heard mixed things on what Aaron Glenn is apparently making. Rich Cimini said on his podcast the other day, it's $10 million. You heard Connor there say it's $13 million. I don't think it's about the money. I think it's about ego. I don't believe Woody Johnson would admit this level of mistake. And that's what you're doing if you make Aaron Glenn one and done. If you give a guy 1 year who you anointed as the football czar of your organization, right? He's not just the head coach. He's the coach and the final decision maker because the GM reports to him, as you heard Connor reference the famous Woody Johnson line at the introductory presser, that Muji is Glenn's sidekick. So to me, it's an ego thing. Woody hired Glenn, hired Muji. It's the first coach and GM search he oversaw in a decade, right? Bowles and McCagnon. After that, he was in London. He wasn't here for Saleh. He wasn't here for Gase. He wasn't here for Douglas. Those were not Woody Johnson's hires. Glenn was. We know what Woody has said publicly about him. We know he loves giving Aaron Glenn those hugs every day, apparently. I just would be floored if the Jets would pull the plug, DT, after 1 year. Again, I don't think Aaron Glenn has done a good job. You can argue he should be one and done, but I just don't see Woody Johnson making that level of move. So for the most part, I agree with everything Connor Hughes said there.
Yeah, I agree with the premise that I don't think AG is going anywhere. Now, obviously, you're kind of assuming, right, whether it's money-based or ego-based. Perhaps Woody thinks he got the answer right. Maybe he believes in AG a lot more than we do on the outside. And I think that's certainly a possibility too. You obviously don't let him trade away Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams and accumulate all these picks if you don't think he's the guy. So in my opinion, I don't know if it's necessarily because, yes, Woody has a very big ego. We know that. And it can turn on a dime, right? He can just flip one day and all of a sudden fire everybody, go scorched earth. I actually believe, though, that he thinks Aaron Glenn is the guy. And does that mean that Aaron Glenn has earned a second year? No, he certainly has not earned a second year. But does that mean he deserves to be fired? Probably not also, right? Like there is that middle ground where I'm trying to kind of float right now with AG, where you look at the hires he's made. Aaron Muji is a pretty good GM for all intents and purposes, which if Connor is accurately reporting this, which I think he is, AG has his hands on every single move that's being made. So you like the hire of Muji, you got to like bits and pieces of AG, right? Obviously with Chris Banjo as well, first-time special teams guy, elite special teams unit right out the gates. That's another good hire. Engstrand, and we're kind of some games really good, some opening scripts really bad. I think for the most part, he's gotten good opening scripts for Brady Cook, right? He scored on the second drive. I think it was like a 9 or 12 play drive that he had. So there are things that you can point to with AG in terms of the people he has hired, right? And then we'll obviously see with Chris Harris, what he can do as DC, but he was interviewed as DC. So I don't know if it's necessarily the money or the ego. I genuinely think Woody has the answer right in his mind, and he's going to see it play out. Now, obviously, we can argue, does he deserve it? Does he not? I think Aaron Glenn at least deserves to draft his quarterback and see what happens from there, right? I don't think you can just go down with the field ship and all of a sudden it's like he's the worst head coach in the NFL. I don't think that's a reasonable take, although there is a lot to not like so far about this regime. Certainly not a ton to like. We have 3 wins, 11 losses. Like that alone should be, cause to bring up the one and done. I can't myself. I'm kind of in that middle ground where it's like maybe Engstrand with a rookie quarterback. I feel like he was somewhat tied to Justin Fields against his will a little bit, right? Like it just felt like it was never a good mesh between Fields and the offensive scheme that Engstrand likes to run, if you're assuming he's bringing over elements of the Detroit Lions. So again, there are things, and I think you asked Jeff Parles, was there anything that AG has done this year to give you confidence? Yes, there is at least one thing that I think he does to give you confidence. But in the totality of everything this season, it wouldn't surprise me if they moved on. I don't think so. And I don't know if it's money or ego or Woody thinking he got it right, but we're going to see AG, at least for 2026. And then if it continues, we'll have this discussion again at this time next year. But
I might be fired if it's 3-11 at this time next year. You might not be here by then.
Yeah, you could certainly see the path of who was it, Callahan in Tennessee,
yep.
Right? Made it only a couple games into the season. And obviously Tennessee is like dog shit in terms of talent, but that is a very likely path. But on the other hand, you have to be able to say like, okay, with the dollars and the cap space and the draft picks, there is a chance that he can get all these things right. Obviously he needs to make a couple new hires, right? We'll see what happens with Chris Harris at DC. I think there's a chance he sticks on. And so far he's 2 for 2 with first-time hires. His only hire was a veteran that was deemed bad in Steve Wilkes, right? So maybe the first-time guy in Chris Harris works for him, but I don't know. I'm just caught such in this like dead man's spot, like no man's land with AG, where I guess I don't have an emotional attachment if they cut him or fire him rather, but also I do think he deserves the chance to at least get his guy in the draft and then see what happens from there. But it's going to be a short leash, in my opinion. And I said it last week. I said it the week before, even when we were talking about Joe Burrow and Kyler Murray. You need to be the 8th seed in the AFC next year, or everything's on the table in terms of you getting fired. Like, this is not enough. 7 wins, 7-10 is not enough. It's got to be 8 to 9 wins, fighting for the playoffs in the last couple weeks of the season. Like this time next year, Jake, with 3 games left, we need to be lurking at the minimum.
Right.
I'm going to sound off on AG, but you can't look at him himself as the best thing about him. It's the hires that he's made in Engstrand, Hendon, Banjo, and Muji.
It's complicated because from the outside looking in, what did you expect? How is he going to turn the Jets around in a year? Look at the roster. But if you've been following how we got here and what the messaging was at the beginning and their actions telling us that they thought they were going to be much better than they were, right? Misevaluating their own team. Then the pivot at the trade deadline is like, we're all about the big picture. But we can't lose sight of the fact, as Connor brought up in that cut that we played, they were so wrong about Fields to a point where they gave him $30 million guaranteed with zero competition. They handed him the job. They made Joe Tippmann sing for his supper. He's a top 5 player on this roster right now. And Justin Fields just got handed the starting job. And he had 4 games this year with under 60 yards passing. Like, he couldn't play. And it's not just that he was bad. It's they talked up Fields being coached properly, and it was horrific what they got out of him. So, again, I go back to what Connor said at the beginning of the cut, right? If you have doubts already on Glenn, don't do the Robert Saleh thing where you let him start the season and then you blow it all up in the middle. If you already have doubts now, I know you don't want to fire him, but again, you weren't expecting going into the year to be in position where you might be able to draft a quarterback in the top 3. You have to think long and hard about the long-term future of your franchise. And if you think Glenn's not capable of overseeing the development of a rookie QB, that's why you'd pull the plug. But I just don't think Woody Johnson's ego would allow him to do it.
Yeah, and that's certainly like a viable take to have about Woody Johnson. And I've usually erred on the side of caution when trying to throw Woody's name out there with certain things, but I was very, adamant that Woody only picked player or coaches on his list that didn't want Aaron Rodgers back. And I'm not going down the whole Aaron Rodgers path. I've done that too much already this week. But there are certainly a lot of decisions. The peacocking early on in the season, dumping all over Saleh and Ulbrich and saying it's just coaching and this and that. A lot of things that rubbed this fan base the wrong way.
No one's gotten better, Dylan. Who's being coached on this team properly right now? You can't tell me, Garrett Wilson, he's a star. Armand Membu, okay, they maybe have a good O-line coach, but he was the 7th pick in the draft. Again, for all of Saleh's faults, we saw legitimate player development, at least on defense. Other than, I guess, Jawan Briggs, I can't tell you anyone that actually I think has improved, and we're seeing real coaching things that you could point to.
Yeah, there certainly isn't a holdover from this roster last year that has improved. I guess the only name I would invoke is Brandon Stevens, because watching what he was in Baltimore last year, it made sense for them to move off of him. And obviously we know good franchises move off of guys a year early as opposed to a year late. But I feel like what the Jets got out of Stevens this year is better than what he was last year on tape. But in terms of the Saleh holdovers on this defense, no, there's not a single person that has improved throughout the part of the season. Now, offensively, I can say AD Mitchell looks night and day compared to what he was. And I listened to Engstrand's comments about him. He was smiling ear to ear, glowing about AD Mitchell. So I do think there is a realm where AD Mitchell is another one you can point to. But again, what are we talking about? 3 players, 4 players at the very most.
And this is a coach who said, you'll know what we're doing based on how guys are getting better throughout the year and they're developed. That's what they highlighted. That was the mantra from him from the beginning. And also the other thing that he highlighted was, the expectations is you're going to have a team that Jet fans are proud of. And then when they were awful, it's, I never said when. It's just I don't know what Woody Johnson was expecting this year or how he was convinced that, the pivot they made at the trade deadline was the right move and he trusted people doing it. But there's just no way they went into the year telling Woody, we're going to win 3 games. We're going to be the 3rd Jets team ever to lose 14 plus games in the season. There's just no way Woody thought that was going to be what this year was going to be all about.
Yeah. And there's obviously the element of him kind of pulling the wool over Woody's eyes, right? By saying all those things when he was first hired, and then you start 0-7. And then did he sell Woody another false bill of goods saying, hey, we got to deplete this roster to then build it back up the right way, the way we see fit? So there's certainly, like I said, there's just so much gray area with AG, but I do think it is a little unfair to have the one and done with him, because he didn't have yes, Fields was a bad swing. I get it. But of the options, and we've went over the options, there was just nobody really was he going to go get Daniel Jones? I don't know.
It was really Brissett or Jameis.
Right, exactly. And, I know Jameis had that moment, what was that, in Vegas with you, where you caught him walking by.
New Orleans, yeah.
New Orleans, yeah. So it's you can invoke those names as they immediately would have been better than Justin Fields. I don't think that is the only strike he should get at quarterback. I genuinely think he should get to pick his rookie, whether it's trading up for one, which I hope they don't have to do, getting their guy organically. I mean, if they go the veteran route, we just know, I think that is more telling than anything, that they might not be fit to develop a rookie quarterback. But Also, somebody brought it up in the comments way earlier that they passed on like Dart and Shuck and Shador for Justin Fields. There is that element, right? But when you think about where Muji and Glenn came from, Denver and Detroit respectively, they had their quarterbacks in place. Usually front offices are thinking a draft in advance, right? So while they're doing the 2025 draft, they're thinking about the 2026 draft. Perhaps they just all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but immediately decided we don't love the research we've done on the 2025 class. It's a little too early for us to have conviction. That's what we can sell Woody is, hey, we're going to take this year, go scout our quarterback of the future, right? They've seen Mendoza 4 times. They've seen Dante Moore at least 3 times in person. And then you have a whole year's worth of research and scouting on these guys to go make your swing. So that's the only reason that I think these guys deserve next season. But I'm willing to let that play out. And if AG is not the guy, then we're going to get a new guy in here anyway in 2027 with a ton of first-round picks.
Did we ruin the quarterback, though? Or did we set the quarterback's development back if they end up taking someone and then it's like the Cam Ward situation with the Titans this year? It's what happened 2 seasons ago now with Eberflus and Caleb Williams, what obviously happened with Trevor Lawrence in his first year with the Urban Meyer fiasco. Are we like if Aaron Glenn got fired, I don't think this fan base would be that upset. And that's kind of sad because that's how bad of a year it's really been when you look at the grand picture.
Yeah, well, there's already so many people that didn't want him to begin with. And I feel like that's kind of been the narrative for a lot of the fan base that didn't want him originally. But it doesn't mean
didn't want him or didn't want, because I was someone, it wasn't an anti-AG thing. It was
anti-defensive coach. Yes, anti-defensive coach.
And you know what's funny? I wanted a defensive coach. Of the guys they spoke to, I wanted Flores because at least he's had experience before. I didn't want some Jet fans I know like myself. We were anti just first-time coach in general, but especially first-time coach defensive background because you knew the Jets were going to be in a spot where they had to develop a quarterback either this past offseason. They bypassed Dart and Sanders and the other options. And we know, okay, well, 2026 they're going to get their guy. And now it's like they were so wrong on Fields. We have no idea about a lot of the offensive coaches, like Charles London, for example, is the QB coach. And it's like, okay, well, now you have a defensive-minded coach who actually doesn't want to call the plays for his defense. The defense sucks. He has to hire a new DC. And, oh, yeah, we now need to get a franchise quarterback, and we got to get it right in the draft and probably trade assets to get that guy because we're not going to be in position to naturally pick him.
Yeah, to your point about how you obtain the quarterback does go a long way in determining AG and everybody else's future, right? Because if they go in the top 5 without trading up and get their quarterback and they all fail, right? The coaching staff has to be fired and the quarterback is entering year 2 with the new regime. That's not a great look. Now, if they trade up for that quarterback and the same thing happens, then the whole thing is cooked anyway. But if you go in the back end of round 1, maybe the early part of round 2, right? Like hypothetically, I know Jaden Mayava went back to school, but like a Darian Mensa or a John Mateer, right? Guys that are solid but not great. And I know Mensa's probably a lot better than Mateer on everybody's list. I'm just saying names. If they get a guy with the 36th pick, they can get fired and the new regime will pick their first round quarterback, right? Like I would look at that as like New Orleans, right? Kellen Moore, he took Shuck at pick 40. If it didn't work out, they scrapped everything. They got a new coach. He's going to pick his guy where he picks. So it depends on where they pick the quarterback. It depends on how big the mess is that the next coach would have to clean up. I don't know. I feel like there is a realm where AG, Angstrand, and hopefully Banjo and Chris Harris can turn it around, or if not, we'll know right away next year. We'll know right away if this team is turned around. Yeah.
Terrifying. Like, again, people bring up the Lions, right? I see it in the chat. Well, look at Dan Campbell. And it's like, this is not remotely close to the same situation. But if we want to follow the Dan Campbell playbook, right? The Lions started 1-6 in Dan Campbell's second year. I don't think Aaron Glenn is surviving 1-6. I think he's fired mid-season if that happens.
Yeah, Woody's not coming out at the owners' meeting next year and asserting that faith in him. Like, I forget the owner's name. Is it Sheila Ford? I think it's Sheila Ford. When she came out midway through last season or that season and said those things about Dan Campbell. The one thing I do get confused about, I don't remember who brought it up, but the fact that they say AG is a defensive-minded coach and he fired his DC gives them concerns. But it's like, that's what Dan Campbell did. He's an offensive coach. He fired his OC after 1 year. I don't think him hiring Wilkes is a fireable offense. And I even had somebody say if Chris Harris makes the defense look good, Glenn should be fired because he picked the wrong guy at DC. It's like, at what point do we stop? No matter what he does, is everything bad? Like if Chris Harris is a good DC and he becomes the full-time DC,
that's good for Aaron Glenn.
I don't count that as a loss. Like that is a win for now. You have 3 established coordinators.
Well,
all in
okay. So
positions.
to your point, it's like the people knocking him for it, right? It's a strike against him, but it's not a fireable offense. Assuming Woody is going to give him a second year, the fireable offense would be if you strike out again with the next hire, you're not getting a third one. Like you got your one mulligan hire, you better get this next one right because
100%.
the next person who's fired is going to be you.
Yeah. And I like the fact that he is going to be more hands-on with Chris Harris, right? Because
he should be.
That's what he should be. And I know there is the whole talking point of don't go away from what got you to the head coaching position. I do think that leans a little bit more towards the offensive-minded guys. Like I look at guys like Liam Cohen. Yeah, he was a great play caller in Tampa Bay, and that's why he's a great play caller in Jacksonville. I don't know if it weighs the same for defensive coordinators, but it does put the onus on AG to get all of these hires right. And he has his one swing. He missed at quarterback. He missed at DC. Technically, he missed at quarterback on the defense in Jamie and Sherwood, and we'll see how he pivots from all those. But I don't think that everything he's done wrong all of a sudden just means to be, oh, he needs to be fired for this, right? Like coaches make mistakes. I'm pretty sure Vrabel's made some mistakes in his career as a coach, right? I know he's had some hirings and firings, at least in Tennessee, but it's just, again, it's a tough spot to be in if you're a Jets fan because you want to have faith in AG and the staff, but where is the tangible evidence? Like it's all of a sudden like that water that was in the glass of like about a month and a half ago, it's evaporating very quickly. And we need to see a plan in place to get the quarterback to fix this roster, to get it back to a product we can be confident and proud about.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud that Janice Jett watches our show. She just gifted the community 20
Let's go.
channel memberships. Oh my goodness.
Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets!
Dylan, you know what that means. It's raining memberships, baby. Janice Jett in the raffle for 20. Oh, I hit the wrong button. I hit raffle music. I meant to hit raindrops. Oh, it's raining. Get your Gustbusters umbrellas out, baby. Let's go. Janice, you're the best. You're in for 20. If you got a membership from Janice, make sure you say thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't even pull up the list of names here, so I don't know who got one, but 20 of you did. And thank Janice for that. We're giving away a signed Chad Pennington autograph football at the end of the show. And I would like to let people know again, every Tuesday we give out multiple signed items as part of the weekly raffle series, which if you enter for a daily raffle, you automatically are entered in the weekly. This week, it's a Nick Mangold signed ball, signed Sack Exchange football, and a signed Vinny Testaverde jersey. All right, we'll get to your super chats now. A lot of people want in on the phones as well on the Gustbuster umbrella hotline. Again, thank you to Janice Jett for supporting the show. Bino says he knows Engstrand and the verbiage. He'll play this, referencing Hendon Hooker. Again, he might know the verbiage and some of the offense, but if Hendon Hooker has to get in any of these games the last 3 weeks, that would be not good. Not good at all. Something probably happened to Brady Cook, or he was so unplayable they felt like they had to go to Hooker, which would not be fun either.
Yeah, being that they signed him on Thursday, like, what do you think the quarterback room is going to be this week? I think it's going to be Brady Cook, Tyrod Taylor as the backup, and no emergency third. And then next week, you could probably see Hooker being the emergency third.
All this talk about Hooker, family show. I don't know. I don't really care. You're probably right, though. It probably is Tyrod, and then Fields maybe is the emergency third. Just if Tyrod's actually banged up. I saw the injury report today. Tyrod limited, and they added a knee designation to his injury. So, like, he's like that SpongeBob meme of, like, the guy with just, like, the cast on every part of his body. Like, it really is insane. Like, Tyrod Taylor today listed with a groin/knee now, which is new. It was just groin previously. So
just say body. Just say body. Tyrod Taylor, body. That's it. His injuries have injuries at this point. Like, oh boy. Yeah, it's tough. I don't want to see Justin Fields in a Jets jersey for the rest of the season, even as an emergency third. I truly just think he's quit on this team. And maybe a little bit of the Aaron Glenn combativeness has rubbed off on him a little bit, but I just don't like what I've seen optically from Justin Fields, even as a third backup street clothes quarterback. Like I don't like the attitude and everything like that I've seen from Fields. So if it's just, one healthy quarterback behind Brady Cook and it happens to be Hendon, oh well. I truly don't want to see Fields in a Jets jersey again.
You look at like the way NHL players are like designated for injuries. They just say upper body or lower body. With Tyrod, you could just literally be like lower body and it applies.
Yeah, 100%.
Lower body injury. Like that's him.
And how long is this? I mean, Justin Fields, the soft tissue knee injury has been going on 3 weeks, even though he's I guess he's limited capacity in practice, but it's like, come on, you could have probably been a full participant in practice if you had just a small soft tissue injury in your knee. So I don't know. I genuinely just think this whole year is effed from a quarterbacking perspective. I said it probably about 6 weeks ago. It's the 32nd best quarterback room in the league. And that's going to be the sticking point, right? It's going to get much, much louder for AG and everybody else if that issue is not resolved, because I use this analogy a ton. You have a boat with holes in it. Some holes are bigger, some holes are smaller. The quarterback hole in the boat is letting in the most water. If you're able to plug that hole, at least in the short term, it buys you so much time with your roster. So I do want to see what they do at the quarterback position without hopefully mortgaging the future to do it, because they won't be here.
Live look of Tyrod Taylor at the Jet facility.
That's him.
This is Tyrod Taylor right now. It's unbelievable. Oh man. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. The one injury note, looks like Mason Taylor is probably not going to play again this week. He did not practice again, didn't play this past week. I'd like to see him back before the year ends, because every game he plays is good for his development, but it doesn't look like he's going to play for the second game in a row.
Yeah, I did my preview video and it was completely on mute because I'm the most rookie podcaster out there in this space. And I said, I don't think Mason Taylor plays this year, not this year, but this game. And I would be hard pressed if they decided to force him out there. It's a neck injury. So like he has to be 100+% healthy to play, to not re-aggravate it. Same thing with Garrett Wilson, like just shut these guys down. I think Breece Hall would have been shut down too, if not for the fact that he's 33 yards a game away from 1,000 yards this season. And that running back is going to want that 1,000 yards on his resume after having the 996 2 years ago. So I don't know, man. It's tough. I don't want to see Mason Taylor out there if he's not healthy, but I want to see Mason Taylor out there because he is such a good help. And I think he is a really strong, building block of this future. But does that mean that he needs to play over the last 3 games? No, I think we'll be okay if we wait till August to see him again.
Mike Perez in the raffle for 2 says, my favorite tag team, checking in from the train. Here's some money, ringleader. Great callback, Mike. You're in the raffle for 2. Mike is a train conductor. He's one of the greats. So shout out to you, Mike. Yeah. Common Country in the house, a party animal, that Common Country. Do you think there's a chance Chris Banjo gets interviewed during the next head coach hiring cycle? I'd be shocked because he's still so young. He's only been a coach for like 2 seasons, 3 seasons. Like he retired after the 2022 season. So I don't think he's going to get head coaching interviews, Common Country, but he's a guy to watch a year from now. The Jets special teams is this good again next year.
Yeah, and I think you said it. Maybe it was one of your guests, but you said there is a world where AG is fired and Banjo stays. I think the opposite. I know Brant Boyer did the exact same thing. I just don't know.
Like Westhoff did it too with the Jets for years. Right.
But I just don't think after 1 year, like I think Banjo and all the guys would leave. They'd be like, well, screw this. There's no loyalty here anyway.
Yeah, but they're under contract though.
That's true. That's
the thing. You have their rights. So
they'd be stuck here and pissed off. So like you wouldn't want that either. But yeah, I guess that is a situation. But I would just think if AG goes, everybody goes, and probably the only person you would even consider keeping is Muji.
Yeah, look, I think ultimately, if you wanted to keep Banjo, you could, because he's under contract, and like Rex Ryan came in. You know what he did? He kept Westhoff. He kept Brian Schottenheimer. So it's been done before in Jet history. Sure. I mean, Brant Boyer was on the Bulls, Gase, and the Salah staff. So we've seen it before. Also, Hawk does make a good point, which is something I have never said in the 5-year history of this show. Westy got Banjo the job. He would stay. You're not wrong. Mike Westhoff did recommend to Aaron Glenn to hire Banjo. So
yeah, but do you
it
think
doesn't
if
matter.
Banjo had the choice, right? You one and done the coach that brought him in. If
Right.
Banjo had his choice to leave, I think he's leaving. Obviously, the fact that he's
is he
under
getting
contract,
another special teams
hell
coordinator job?
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would depend on like who the coach is coming in. Like if he hits it off with whoever they hire in this hypothetical scenario, would he stick around? I mean, he would have to stick around. It's a matter of would the Jets let him out of his contract.
But if he had his way, I don't know. I feel like because of the whole one and done situation, that I wouldn't be surprised if any of these guys just wanted to leave. So obviously, yes, they're stuck here, but you don't want that to be the case, right? You don't want them to be stuck here.
You want a great working environment, baby. This is the type of environment that we want.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Just hugs galore.
Hugs all around, baby. Let's go.
All right. The Woody Johnson way. Tom Roseman is in the raffle for one. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate your support. Way to gift the membership. Taylor is in the raffle for two. The Glenn one and done stuff is just the media trying to get Jet fans clicks again. It's not real. Well, it's really one person. Like Mike Florio is the only one who speculated about this, and it's been everywhere since. Again, I don't think it's ridiculous to say he should be one and done. I understand why fans feel that way. I don't think Aaron Glenn's done a good job this year, but I don't think he will be one and done.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like I said, has he earned the second year? No. Does he deserve to be fired? Probably no. Like there's just too much going on in 1 year where like you can kind of give him the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, it's going to get loud very quickly next year. And you can't do the whole solid thing. Like and I don't believe I truly don't believe Woody has that, like, I guess animosity towards Aaron Glenn, right? Like he kind of had toward Robert Saleh. It wasn't his hiring. It was Christopher Johnson that did it. I don't know if you had that feeling though, entering 2024, like you had with Saleh entering 2026 with Glenn, you have to get rid of him. That's just the only thing, because that's what being a proactive owner is all about. You eat the money, you move on. But to me, I don't think Woody thinks he's in the wrong yet. Will we find out if he's in the wrong? We certainly will. But I don't think Woody thinks he's in the wrong yet.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Jets Hub says Glenn was too cocky just for us to be ass. I think that's where he lost a lot of fans, though, honestly, right? The messaging from him from the beginning has been poor. They tried like this competitive rebuild, but they completely bungled it with the field signing by just basically shitting on the previous coaching staff, talking about how they could coach guys up. I mean, let's be real, Dylan. A big portion of this roster they could have moved on from and chose to retain. The Tony Adams of the world is now on IR. We probably never see him again as a Jet. Isaiah Oliver, Clemens, Lazard. You go down the line. Like they kept a lot of these guys. They paid Sherwood. That's been a disaster so far. They kept Quincy, right? They could have traded some of these guys when they first came in. They didn't do it. Instead, they rightfully paid Garrett. They paid Sauce. They extended Sherwood. And like, here we are. And it's like, big ships take a while to turn. I think the misevaluation of their own players is a big reason why, they are sitting here with 3 wins with 3 games to go.
Yeah, 100%. He missed the mark on a lot of decisions, pretending like he was, this almighty head coach. Now, if he came in, he was hired January 21st. If he came in, at his introductory press conference and said, hey, unfortunately, Woody, we're going to have to tear this all down. Jets fans, please be patient with us. We're going to have to get through the mud of 2025 to have, greener pastures in 2026 and beyond. You can swallow that a little bit better. Nobody wants to sit through a losing season knowing that it's going to suck, but no one wants to be told that we're going to peacock ourselves. We're going to say we're going to be good. We're going to compete. We're going to do the competitive stuff. And then you have this product. So I do think AG could have went about it earlier on saying, look, we're just going to have to take our lumps now and we'll see what happens. It's just, it's unfortunate that and Black Gypsy says that he lied to us. Yeah, he lied to us, but I think he also lied to Woody Johnson and got the
I don't know if he lied. I think he believed it. He believed. Yeah. I don't think Aaron Glenn lied. I think he just completely misevaluated like how difficult this job would be and overrated the roster he was inheriting.
Right.
And probably honestly underrated the job that Saleh's staff did elevating some of these guys that they thought actually weren't being coached properly. But it turns out, at least on defense, they were getting the best out of Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald and Quincy Williams and Tony Adams and like all these guys they've retained. All the solid guys have been Sherwood. They've all been worse than they have been under Aaron Glenn.
Yeah. And another part of this is, and I said this at the trade deadline, the deadline felt like day 0 for AG and Muji.
Pivot, yeah.
It almost felt like the first 7 weeks, and maybe they said this behind the scenes. I have no idea, right? Maybe they said to Woody, look, we're going to trial everything across the board, but then you shouldn't have done your contracts. I totally get that. We're going to trial everybody on this roster and see what happens. And at the deadline, we'll make the moves that we feel necessary. If they traded Sauce and Quinnen as soon as they were hired, 1, you don't get the return. 2, you're probably have already spent those picks in 2025 with a couple left over in 2026. I don't know, man. It's a tough spot because I want him to do well, obviously, but there's so many things that are just going against the grain of like, damn, I really wouldn't have done it this way, or I wish he would have said something differently this way. And the messaging has been so poor that I can totally get on board. Like, if you're just a guy who watches the pressers and the Sunday games, AG is a one and done head coach. Now, the fact that you have all these picks, like you want to see him make the picks and see what he can do with them, because the draft doesn't look that bad. Like, Muji actually looks pretty good in the draft. And I hate doing the Muji good, Glenn bad, because everything Muji does has Glenn's backing on it. So like, we have to give some crumbs of praise to Aaron Glenn in those moves, but it's just a tough spot to be in, and we hate having to do these conversations.
And now it's all about getting as high of a draft pick as possible, DT.
Getting as high as possible.
That's why you're today's guest, baby. Spark it up. Yeah.
It's funny. Somebody in the chat just said Glenn is the worst head coaching hire of 2025. No, he's not.
Pete Carroll.
No, yeah, Pete Carroll, which is crazy. Yeah. So yeah, it's not saying much, but he's not the worst hire.
Congrats to the Jets.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the 31st worst coach team in the league.
But we're the 33rd team. Come on.
God. Gator writes in, the Jake Asman show has spawned no less than 78 Jets podcasts. I heard there's a few more coming. Adam is 2 Jets, Lane's bikinis and Jets, Chuck Jets, Adderall Jets, and Green Belt Mike.
All epic spinoffs. Adderall Jets, you probably have to play back speed at like 0.75, 0.5 maybe, as opposed to the opposite where like Jake and I will watch stuff on like 1.5 speed. With Mad Max, you got to turn that down to like 0.75 and you got to slow down.
Yep. All right, let's do some calls, shall we? A lot of people want in on the conversation, and we got a who's who of people on the line. I'm going to start things off today, though, with a man who once upon a time was dying to get an intro, right? He wanted one in the worst way. He went from not having one to having 2 of them.
Gator, where is my intro? I need a cool intro. I've been calling in, supporting Jake for over 4 years. You did intros for Papa Jet, and Adam is too cool. I'm worthy of an intro, Gator. I don't understand why I don't have an intro. You suck, Gator. You really suck.
They suck like this team sucks, Dylan.
I hear you, Rob.
Dylan, I don't know. I hear from you. It kind of sounds like you still have some optimism on AG. And I tell you, I have zero optimism.
That's fine. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I'm oozing with optimism and confidence, but I don't know, man. I can't look at this whole year and just wrap it up and just say, you know what, I'm cool with the new coach. Like, who are you bringing in? Like, what is the name that Rob, the Jet fan, is bringing
Mike
in
McCarthy.
if you fire?
Mike McCarthy.
Okay.
I keep Muji, and I get Mike McCarthy, and I'll explain why. Mike McCarthy, I think, would take the job. And the reason being is Mike McCarthy is not that far removed. Look at Dallas going with Schottenheimer. They didn't go better. Mike McCarthy was averaging 12 wins a game, other than the year that Dak got hurt. Mm-hmm. They averaged 12 wins a season, okay? Mm-hmm. I think a guy like McCarthy would come in. I think they would retain Muji, because I don't want Muji going anywhere. And contrary to what you say, I think Muji's making the decision on the players. Maybe Aaron Glenn has to sign off on it, and he knows players. Okay, I'm not going to take that away from him. But even when we were to the point with AG of winning 3 out of our last 5 and developing supposedly this culture, as they said, he follows it by 2 blowouts. 2 blowouts. So you know what? Inconsistent at best is this coach. And I got news for you. These next 3 games, I'm praying that the Jets get blown out of the water, because I don't want this coach anymore. I'm sick of this coach. I'm willing to watch the Jets get blown out just to get rid of this guy, because I think he fucking sucks. I'm sorry.
No, that's fair. I mean, there's an element that
anymore. I really don't. I'm sorry. I think he is one of the worst coaches. I put him right there for Kotite. I was there for the Kotite years, and Kotite was a buffoon. And AG is, I think he also is a buffoon. I don't think he knows what he's doing. I
don't have the ability to say, because I was like 2 years old when Kotite was the coach. I don't know how the players felt about Kotite. And somebody in the chat just said the team quit on AG. I don't think so. The team quit on Wilkes.
Okay.
The way that these players
still the head coach,
but the way that the players talk about the head coach is completely different than every other bad coach in this league. They talk about him like he's the guy.
But Dylan, aren't you still responsible being the head coach?
Yeah, you're responsible for everything, of course. Of course.
You see what I'm saying? I think it took, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it took JJ and it took Quincy not speaking, saying, no, we'd rather not talk. And then Aaron Glenn saying, hey, what's going on here? They don't even want to talk.
Well, I think the tape, too, looked like they quit, Rob. I think that's why Glenn acted.
Yeah, it was awful. It was awful from the first play. It was awful defensively from the first play.
They gave up 82 points over 2 games to 2 mediocre quarterbacks, if we're being honest.
Well, that's why I'm saying I think that's the reason why they didn't give him the last 3 games, Dylan. I think that's the reason
Wilkes? Yeah, of course. The defense quit on Wilkes. I don't think the team quit on AG. Like, look at the guys they just extended. Josh Myers and Jeremy Rucker. Bad, depth guys, but they talk about AG in a completely different way than the Quincy's and JJ's. Like, Kaz was saying to Will Parkinson on the TOJ podcast that players were on the sidelines against the Jaguars basically shitting all over Wilkes. Like, that's not happening with AG. Does that mean that AG is a dominant head coach in the league? No, absolutely not. I'm not going to sell you this lie that he's good. But you mentioned it too yourself. You would keep Muji, but get rid of AG.
Yeah.
That's because you assume that everything Muji does doesn't involve AG?
I'm sure it involves him to a certain degree, but as far as the contract parts and everything else, no, I think that's all Muji. Now, if you want to say knowing players and signing off on it, okay. Maybe Aaron Glenn does know a little bit of that, because
Glenn should get credit for the draft. Because again, any major decision, Glenn has the final approval on. I think Muji's distinguished himself with the in-season trades, extracting maximum value in the trades with Quinnen and Sauce, getting Mitchell and Mechie, as he's throwing players with these deals here. Like, I think he's done his job far better than Glenn has done his. But and I don't know if we could sit here and definitively say, hey, if they were to actually fire Glenn, that Muji would definitely stick around and get the pick of coach. I don't know what his relationship's like with Woody Johnson.
No, you don't. You're right. But I'm just telling you, I think if a guy like McCarthy took over and he saw the so far the genius in Muji, I think Muji would stay and Banjo would stay. And I'll tell you.
Well, to Jake's point, they have to stay. They're under contract.
Right.
So unless they get fired.
Engstrom, I don't think he's that bad, our offensive coordinator.
Okay, so now, Rob, you're talking yourself into reasons to have a shred of confidence in AG. He had 3 really good hires in Banjo, Muji, and to your point, a little bit of Engstrom, right?
2, and then 1 in the middle. I don't know yet. I think that's.
Would you rather see Tanner Engstrand with the new quarterback, not Justin Fields?
Yeah,
right. And there's a path that he turns it around.
Dylan, I thought from day one, and Jake will tell you, from day one, I thought it was a joke that they went to Justin Fields. I never thought that guy was any good.
Yeah,
that
a lot of
cannot
people did. A
go
lot of people
downfield.
certainly had that mentality for sure.
Oh
For
my
sure.
God! I mean,
I think it's the contract with Fields for me. It's not necessarily the
that's
player.
bad,
Obviously, he crumbled and completely like regressed to Zach Wilson ×5. I think it's just the contract that kills me the most with Fields, because if they had a 1-year deal and they were able to get out of it, it's so easy to just say, okay, well, he had a shot. It's the fact that there's money left over. I don't know, man. Like I'm not sitting here saying that AG deserves it. Like I said, he has not earned his second year, but he doesn't deserve to be fired also.
I tell you, Dylan, I don't want to start off next year being 0-6 again, and then we have to fire him almost halfway throughout the season, and then here's another season.
Sure. But
that's
just to play devil's advocate, because the only hypotheticals we're talking about right now are starting the year poorly. What happens if they start 4-2? Like I don't know why we don't.
Mother God, please.
Of course, we're all hoping that, right?
But like,
we only talk about the negative to it. It's like,
how long have you been a Jet fan, buddy?
I'm 30. $100 million in cap space.
Okay, I'm
8 premium picks over the next 2 years. There is a path where if they hit on the players, again, it's asking a lot.
Do you trust them to pick this path the way they're going so far?
I trust it enough. I trust it enough to allow them to pick the next quarterback, whether that is a veteran that they sign or trade for, or the rookie in the first round or early second round. I trust them enough to at least get that pick and see what happens. Do I trust them in 2027? No, I don't know that yet. That is completely unknown. And if they have 3 first-round picks and a bad coach.
Let me ask you a question, Bill. You know football. You know the X's and O's, probably better than even I do. But let me ask you a question. I know football, but not okay. But let me ask you this question.
Ask the question.
Do you think, if you're sitting here with these guys and they're going and they have a running backs coach as your quarterback's coach, would you trust that for Mendoza next year if we're fortunate to get Mendoza or Dante Moore? Does that look good to you? Do you trust in a running backs coach?
What happens if Charles London is fired and they hire a new guy? I'm just saying, I'm literally just playing devil's advocate to your scenarios, because I feel like it's all hypothetically negative, and rightfully so. But like you're saying, there's a 0% chance that he fires Charles London and hires a competent quarterbacks coach. No, I don't
heard
think
anything. Any complaints about the quarterbacks coach at all, other than us?
I mean, we have the 32nd best quarterback room in the league. Like, of course, there's gonna be issues with Charles London. Nobody's gonna publicly say, "Oh, Charles London is terrible. We're gonna get rid of him." But if that's the first coaching change before even DC, I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay. Last question I want to ask you: if none of this comes to fruition and we don't get Mendoza and we don't get Dante Moore, and they have to take a day 2 pick, what do you think of Darian Mensah, the guy from Duke, or the guy from Southern Cal? What's his name again?
He went back to school. Mayava went back to school.
Okay,
but Mensah.
What about the Duke guy?
Mensah, I did a breakdown on my channel, and I know Dom C has him as like his number 2 or number 3 quarterback. He was like my number 4 or 5, if I remember correctly, maybe even number 6. Like, he was right in that realm, but obviously guys that go back, like I had Mayava above Mensah, but Mayava goes back. So now Mensah bumps up the board. I think he's a good player. I think he's only 20 years.
6'3", 206 pounds, 30 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He won his
The only thing is the arm. I feel like he really forces the ball a lot. Yeah. Like, if he has to throw it like to the opposite field hash, he's like really putting all his arm strength into it. So does he have arm talent? Yeah.
He's a cerebral guy.
Yeah. They move him out of the pocket a lot at Duke and give him like half field reads where he's able to just move out on the run, change his launch point and throw it. There's obviously concerns with him being 20. If I had my personal pick, I would have picked Jaden Mayava in a trade up from the second round, to be honest, because I don't want to take a guy in the top 10, because you're just going to expedite the process of, okay, you start 1-3, you start 0-4, everybody's fired. And now we have the first round quarterback that's in purgatory. I would rather have gone, and I said this and I got flamed last week, I would rather take a Kyler Murray and a second round pick. If Cardinals cut, if Kyler is cut or they trade us picks, I'm not giving picks up for Kyler. I would take Kyler and Adarian Mensah with Brady Cook and we'll just say Hendon Hooker as my 4 quarterbacks, and I at least feel better about it than, okay, we traded 3 picks for Mendoza, now he has to be the week 1 starter. So
Gator, I don't understand why I don't have an intro. Gator, I need an intro, buddy, a cool intro, please. I've been calling in, supporting Jake for over 4 years. You got Adam is too cool, Papa 73, and I don't understand why you won't create one. Women.
You have no sense of humor. That's the problem.
I don't.
When you have a sense of humor, then you can have an intro.
I'm worthy of an intro. All right, fine. I don't understand why I don't have an intro.
Well, now he has 2. All right, good stuff there, Rob. Jet Hub, Super Chat, Mike LaFleur for head coach. That'd be funny. Also, will never happen.
I was on it. I was on it in 22, man. He's my guy. I'm Mike LaFleur truther to the T.
Love it. Cashmere, what y'all feel about McCarthy being the head coach and Glenn being a defense? No, Aaron Glenn would never resign as the head coach to be the DC for Mike McCarthy. That's never happened in Cashmere.
And to Rob's point, and obviously to Cashmere's point, I would take Mike McCarthy. I wanted him in 2019 when they chose Gase over him. But there's obviously the element, like he sat on the couch for too long. That has the game passed him by. Those teams
1 year, though. It's only 1 year.
Of course. But they had a lot of penalty problems in Dallas his last year. Like, he's just very lax.
They score points, though. And
of course. But you also had Dak. You also had Dak, who's like in the MVP discussion. I'm not saying he's a bad candidate. I would take McCarthy. Like, there's a lot of guys I would take over Aaron Glenn right now. It's just, it's hard to definitively say. And I feel like that's what everything is based off of. We're all definitively saying XYZ head coach is automatically better than AG. Like,
Jay Petito, Asmaniac road game trip in Chicago next year. That's the plan, depending on when that game will be, Jay Petito. If we get a Chicago road game in September or October when it's not freezing, yes. If it's in November or December when the Jets are likely done by then, given our history, that's not ideal. So Chicago, Nashville, 2 cities, Los Angeles as well. I think the Jets go to LA. Those are on the short list of Asmaniac road trip games for next year.
Got to get to Chicago before they move to Northwest Indiana.
That's right. Yeah. You talk about.
Hold on a sec. Atomic Clock with the worst take ever in the chat. I was a Zach and Fields truther. That is absolutely big, bro. Call in, dude. You talk so much crap and you never call in. You're always in my Twitter mentions. Never once was I a Zach guy. Never once. So I just think it's so funny when people disagree with your takes. It's like, even if they agree with your takes, they like the message, but they hate the messenger. So all of a sudden, last week when we were talking about Joe Burrow and I got laughed at for saying Cincy is the worst run franchise in the NFL, now all of a sudden Joe and Connor say it on Badlands and War Room, and it's like, oh wait, maybe Cincy really is bad. Like, come on, you like the message, you just don't like the messenger. It's all right, big bro, call in.
Hey, I got some breaking news. A B says we're going to barbecue for the game, and Fireman Ed is welcome to join. Jets against the Bears next year, and we'll be doing our show from the Global Studio headquarters.
I might have to bring my father out for that one. He's a big Bears fan.
Oh, baby. Everyone, get to the lair.
Right now, we're getting some gabagool. If you really want some gabagool, you got to come get the gabagool. Catch you later.
There will be fresh chicken. There will be fresh steaks. There will be fresh sausages, all different sorts. We're going to have hot, we're going to have mild, we're going to have some sweet, and we're going to have that, if anybody wants it, hot firecracker. And hot dogs, we can have 2 different kinds, Nathan's and Vienna beef. Whoever wants Nathan's, call it up. Whoever wants Vienna beef, call it up.
You know what time it is? A beast breaker, 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then eat gobble.
Hello?
More of your calls right now on the show. Let's go to Edward Ziff, who's next. Hey, Edward.
Hey, how you doing?
What up, Easy?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey, you noticed?
I want to do a Jake Asman imitation from 2 years ago. What he used to say about Zach Wilson. He sucks. He sucks. Okay, this is my AG report. I'm sorry. I don't trust this current coaching staff to make the right decisions. I don't trust them to be able to coach them up. This team has gotten worse under AG as head coach. I don't give a shit who he picked as the DC and the OC and all this other. He picked them. This is the same excuses that we used against Joe Douglas when we wanted to fire Joe Douglas, even though, I mean, he screwed up that last year bad by not getting a backup quarterback and by getting rid of JFM. But those were his two worst moves. But other than that, we blamed him for picking the Saleh staff or picking Saleh to pick the staff. So if we're going to be doing that, then we can't just change the formula. AG picked this staff. And I don't see these guys playing enlightened football except for Chris Banjo's squad. Chris Banjo has done a whirlwind, fantastic job with the special teams. And it's just a shame that our best players are the punter and the kick returner and the gunner. I mean, that's an indictment of this team.
Special teams and O-line is being wasted. Yeah, 100%.
Right. Right. And that's the thing. We got this new O-line now, which I think if we just cut bait, and I like the idea of McCarthy. I mean, I'm not sure about McCarthy, but I want an offensive-minded head coach that has winning, true, recorded success in this league. A winning success in this league. I don't care if we get Chucky. I don't care if we get McCarthy. I don't care who we get. As long as he is an experienced head coach on the offensive side that has won more than 10 games in a season. I just don't see this happening here. I'm sorry, I don't see it. Every part of the defense has gotten worse. The line, the linebacking core, and the backfield, all worse. Worse. And I can't just give AG a pass and say it was Wilkes. Because if he saw that there was this much bullshit going on, he should have stepped in 3-4 weeks ago and demoted Wilkes and at least started making some of the calls. That's the head coach's job. When you see that, if you truly are the CEO and you see your managers underneath screwing up badly, it's your job to help them. And if it meant he had to go in the meeting room and establish part of the game plan with Wilkes for the upcoming games, and he didn't do it, then because in his mind, I'm CEO now. No, CEO means you're in charge of everything. It doesn't mean you sit above and watch and dangle like marionette strings. No, if you're the head coach and you see that one of your coaches is having a problem, it is your job, your obligation to step in and fix it.
JETS, Jets. All fair. Again, all fair. That's the problem. Some super chats here, then we'll get right back to the calls. Again, we're giving away a signed Chad Pennington football at the end of the show today. We have this from Mickey, who's in the raffle for 2. Division games are supposed to be tight no matter the year. Giants beat the Eagles this year. Last week, the Saints beat the Bucks. By the way, the Saints beat the Panthers the prior week. AG has this team, and the Falcons beat the Bucks. Yep, that's a fair point. AG has this team getting beat every division game. That's my biggest concern. Yeah, they're going to go 0-6 against the division this year. And the way they lost the Miami game, I said it at the time, it was alarming to no-show that game when you were playing better. You're being lauded for winning 3 of 5. You get a chance at home to play the Miami Dolphins, where Tua has not won a game when it's sub 45-degree temps. And I get it, it wasn't that cold, but still, like, for them to come out and punch you in the mouth down 21-zip before you can even blink, that was alarming. And then they followed that up with the Jacksonville game. It was a major setback, but you're 1,000% right, Mickey. If you can't win division games, what are we talking about with this coaching staff?
Yep, that's the fastest way to make the playoff, is to win your division. I was pretty much out on Steve Wilkes after the first Miami game. Was that Monday night? And all of the exact same things reared their ugly head from the very first play of the Miami game. It's like they didn't learn anything. They didn't go back and watch the film. I guess me having a little bit more patience makes me like some shill for AG, but like, I don't know. I would just like to see him at least get the chance to correct the mistakes rather than just say, oh, if you make a mistake, you're gone. Like that's not how the NFL works, guys. Like I get
You know
it.
the
Like,
problem is this is where him setting the expectation so high and
Right.
then being colossally under what those expectations are hurts him with the fans because people don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Whereas if he didn't have this brash bravado at the beginning and then walk it all back, people would be more willing to like basically understand what this year is, franchise legend, and let's hope he shows improvement. But again, I don't think he's being fired, so we got to root for him to make these corrections we're talking about. But I get why fans feel that way. Bino with the super chat. I remember you saying if they hire Glenn and he sucks, it'll be hard to fire a legend. Here we are. Yeah, I mean, it sucked. Aaron Glenn was a great Jet. I don't want to minimize that. But again, you have to separate Glenn the player from Glenn the head coach and evaluate him. And if Woody Johnson has doubts, fire him now and don't do it 5 games into next year when we're ruining Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore or whoever.
Yeah, that's going to be the issue. And people think that I'm just going to be like, okay with that if it happens. No, I'm going to get very loud about AG. I'm just not going to get loud this year. Like, I understand first-year head coaches, they want to do things their way. Did it work more often than not? Probably not, obviously. But I don't know. Like, I'm not going to just immediately just say, let's just start over completely. We're paying 4 quarterbacks and 3 head coaches all of a sudden. Like, I can't get there yet. So I want to see what happens next year, but it's going to be a short leash, right? Like, I don't want to do the solid thing after 5 games, but if we do start slow, it's going to be rough. But I don't know. I think there is a slight chance that he turns it around, and obviously getting the quarterback position right is going to turn it around faster.
Henny says Kyler Murray and draft 2 playmakers.
If you had Kyler Murray and then you draft Mekhi Lemon and Kenyon Sadiq on this offense, why? No, Jake. No, don't do that.
I want a rookie quarterback.
I know you do.
I would take Kyler if I'm paying him nothing and they're still drafting a quarterback. But this plan is we're drafting 2 playmakers and Kyler's already the unquestioned QB. I don't want that.
Well, yeah, in this situation, I would double down with Heisman and say that you're taking a quarterback at 36 or with the Dallas pick, right? Whoever I'm not even going to bring up a name because it's going to get destroyed in the comments, but any name in that realm of the second round you can take, because then you have Kyler, you have Cook, you have the second round rookie, and then you have a pivot point, obviously, if Kyler isn't great. So I don't know, man. I feel like there's more than one path to the Jets being successful, but everybody has their own plan in their head as how they want to see it done. So if it doesn't work, then they're just going to shit all over it. But I think there's more than one way to skin a cat and turn around your rebuild.
Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. And that's the Jet season in a nutshell, quoting the great Mike Tyson. Mace B, today game massive. Feel like NFC championship. This will define Sam. He cost Seattle with his turnovers. Winner gets #1 seed and SB Fabs. That's me interpreting Mass B's super chat, reading it phonetically. Tonight's a huge game on Thursday Night Football. I gave out a pick earlier on FanDuel. I love the Rams in this spot tonight, so I'm on them. They're actually an underdog. They opened as a favorite, but now you're getting points. Give me the Los Angeles Rams and MVP of the league, Matthew Stafford, in this spot against Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks tonight. What say you, DT?
I'm very curious about this weather situation. Washington is literally being flooded as we speak. So is Matthew Stafford kind of mitigated a little bit by these torrential downpours? They said it's pouring right now in Seattle. They got the tarp over the field right now. I'm going to go Seattle. Short week at home. They're a little bit less banged up, I guess. So, I mean, either way, this game is going to be ridiculously fun, and I think the rain is going to ruin it, which makes me believe a little bit in the Seahawks a little bit more.
Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. This man is cooking something. He's cooking hot takes and delicious food.
Jet Wagon's always cooking with Jet takes. Jet Wagon's even cooking at the game. Chuck Wagon hates McDonald's, but he's headed home to cook. It's time once again for Chuck Wagon.
Hey, Jake. Hey, Dylan. How you guys doing?
Chuck Wagon. What are we eating? What are we making?
Chicken fried rice. Homemade chicken fried rice.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
How do your kids feel about tonight's dinner, Chuck Wagon?
Well, they like rice and they like chicken and they like scrambled eggs, so I do believe they're going to love it.
Hey, let me bring on my food guy who likes chicken, rice, and scrambled eggs. Beast, what do we think?
Let me take a deep look there. Wait, what are you adding there? What is that you're adding?
I
What is
put on
that?
soy sauce. What?
What's
Soy
with the accent
sauce.
when we talk about food, Beast?
He's
Very
going
good.
to Ramsey.
Make sure it's treat it like a risotto. You got to keep going and going and going and going. Make sure make sure that stuff don't stick.
This is definitely not a risotto.
Beast, you give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
It's not bad. It's nice work. Very nice. Very, very delicate. At least he's doing it very nicely. Keep it as a delicacy.
Chuck Wagon, what's that jacket you're rocking there?
Oh no, this is it's a TJ Maxx knockoff. It doesn't even say the name Jets on it anywhere. I got this well over 10 years ago. I'm sure 15, 20 years ago. And I believe I probably paid like $5 for it, and
Hell
it
yeah.
fit.
It looks nice. I mean, for not having the Jets brand on it, it looks really nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's the Leonard Williams jacket or the Sean Ellis jacket.
Yeah. I said Leonard Williams because I knew him more than Ellis, but
well, you enjoy your meal, all right, Chuck?
Oh, Dylan, one question. You said that we have the 32nd ranked quarterback room. I was going to say 31st because I thought the Browns was worse. What say you?
Sure. Yeah, I guess you can make the case. People want Shedeur Sanders over anything we've got right now, so like I can't really argue there. It's bottom 3, right? Like
yes,
even the Raiders with Geno Smith and Kenny Pickett, that's pretty awful too. But yeah, I mean it's bottom 3 no matter how you slice it, and I'm not gonna argue if you want to put the Browns, but people will get on you if you say Shedeur is worse. So
I will not say that. I will not say that, but yeah, like I try to always see the positive. I always like to say it could get worse, could be worse.
Mm-hmm.
So step one is to lose the next 3 games. That's step one. We really
but Chuck Wagon, you got to remember we have to lose them in the way that everybody wants us to lose them, or else we're going to say this coaching staff is incompetent and shouldn't be back. Like this is the conundrum that Aaron Glenn has put us in, where it's like we want losses, but if the loss is too bad, we're back here saying, why are we getting blown out by the Jacksonville Jaguars, who look like the hottest team in the conference? So I don't know.
Life as a Jet fan. More of your calls right now. We got a lot of you on hold. I'm going to try and get to everyone. Here we go.
I'm going to say I'm glad that you didn't let Chuck Wagon cut the line for that call.
No glasses.
That's right.
I love it.
I'm going in on everybody today, Jake.
Let it rip.
Oh, you're going in on me? Is that what's happening?
No, I'm not going on you.
Okay.
I'm not going in on you, Dylan. It's all right.
I like when Kyle Clifton goes in on people. Here we go, folks. Buckle up.
So to expand on what Easy was saying, right? Like these players that are making fun of or like abusing Wilkes on the sideline, those guys got to go. And I think we have a feeling about who it might be. Quincy, I'm looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
Clemens, I'm looking at you.
JJ potentially too.
It's guys that it could be potentially like guys that have been here a bit and are getting a little bit too comfortable with the losing and
the mope.
Nonsense.
Yep, the mope.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Yep. We got the article in week 5 that players were like, oh shit, here we go again. We let up a touchdown on the opening drive. We got to just lay down and die. Like that was the mentality in week 5. Like coming out of, I think, the Dallas game, there was an article.
Right. But I don't want it to be lost that I was also going in on Chuck Wagon there because I think he was a little disrespectful to my guy Charles the other week. I didn't care for that, and he's kind of new to be asking to cut the line. I mean, I think I've done that once in 2 years, and I was losing power on my phone or whatever.
There was some Chuck
So-
on Chuck crime.
Yeah, so
I didn't like
Kyle,
it.
people don't know what you're referring to because no one can see it. When you're on hold, there's a private chat, and Chuck Wagon wrote, "Making something special, Jake. Can you go to me first?" And I honor the line around here, right? So I go in order of people who've been on hold, to be fair, and I did not go to Chuck Wagon first. I went in order. So
No.
that's what I was referring to.
No, it's very rare that Jake would ever make an exception. There would have to be a special circumstance, I think. But like the other thing is McCarthy's not coming here, right? Like he's been snubbed twice by us. Like in 2019, wasn't he snubbed? And he wasn't even given a sniff this past cycle. So
I don't know if he was interested in the job. Like, did he reach out and the Jets straight up said no? I asked Tannenbaum that before we even started working together on Sundays, but I asked him that when he came on the show at the Combine, and he talked around it. Like, didn't even address like why they didn't speak to McCarthy, but they interviewed Mike Loxley from Maryland instead.
We know why they didn't want McCarthy.
Right, because he would have wanted Rodgers, right?
Of
So, but now Rodgers is not here, so would McCarthy consider the Jets again? I think he would if he has a chance to pick his quarterback and he likes one of these guys and they're in position to get him Mendoza or more.
Right. I mean, unless he's put out by the fact that they wouldn't even talk to him for two of the last times that they interviewed people.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just frustrating because if you really want, if it's time's up for Glenn, and you realize that you got to get rid of him, it's got to be a veteran guy, and it's got to be either him or one of these guys that shake loose that you don't kind of expect, whether it's Tomlin or whether it's Harbaugh but at the end of the day.
Are you taking Stefanski? I think that's probably like the hottest like offensive minded name that could be fired. I know he's 2-time coach of the year, and I know there's a lot of conspiracy. I don't know if you guys know, but he's married to the daughter of an old commentator who hated Deion Sanders, and Deion threw ice water on Kevin Stefanski's wife's dad. And now there's conspiracy that Stefanski, because of this, does not like Shedeur.
Oh, that's Tim.
Yes, he passed away, but I don't remember his last name. But yes, Deion dumped water on him, and that guy didn't like Deion. And now his daughter's married to Stefanski, who has now been tied to Sanders kind of unwillingly. And they McCarver, thank you. So now people think that there's the Stefanski Shedeur like hatred because of that, which I think is just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, 2-time coach of the year is one thing. I mean, he's kind of made chicken out of chicken shit, right? He doesn't really have a track record. He's no Matt Nagy, that's for sure.
I would take him because he's an offensive guy, so I'd be on him, Kyle. But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't think Glenn's getting fired, so I don't even want to like entertain all these names because now maybe we could revisit the conversation, DT, if they get completely destroyed these next 3 games, because that would be 5 straight losses to end the year where you were non-competitive in all the games. Then maybe Woody reevaluates. But I think right now there's maybe a 3% chance Aaron Glenn's fired.
I would say even less than 3%. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if they get blown out in the way that they did against Jacksonville, it's going to look bad. It's just, I don't know, man. Trying to tap into the mind of Woody Johnson is next to impossible. So to me, I think he's going to get next year, whether he deserves it or not. I mean,
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Come on, man. All about those hugs. You can get in that mind.
No, I would just rather not get in the mind of Woody Johnson. But yeah, it's very volatile right now.
Henny, fine. Jake, fire Glenn, end of the season, and bring in Cliff Kingsbury to let him pick the QB. Offensive mind with experience, great with young quarterbacks.
Is he, though?
He did get the best out of Jaden Daniels last year. Kyler had his best years with him.
And then Kyler regressed after that. And then Jaden Daniels has regressed and been hurt.
He's been hurt. I mean, that's really not.
I don't know. I don't know if, yes, like if Kingsbury wanted the Jets job, you can make the argument that, yes, he's better than Aaron Glenn, but I don't know. It's tough. There's no like immediate coach in my mind that just like, oh, we got to have him. No matter what.
Like Vrabel where it's like, perfect. Fire Mayo, get him.
And I'm done with the chat right now, but they just love to play revisionist history. My top 3 were Vrabel, Monken, and Cohen. So AG wasn't even a top 5 guy for me.
They didn't even request Cohen, probably because he would have said no.
He wasn't
Not
coming.
Terry.
And the whole thing with him re-signing in Tampa Bay and then 2 days later becoming the head coach of Jacksonville. I mean, we know why the offensive-minded coaches picked the jobs that they had. They had a quarterback in place or a plan to go get their quarterback. Ben Johnson had Caleb. Cohen had Trevor Lawrence. There's another guy that I know we've invoked that he has a quarterback or they picked a quarterback under him. So, like, that's the reason offensive guys don't come, because we don't have the quarterback in place.
But now we have a path to get the quarterback potentially with these picks.
Potentially. Like, if we ended with the 3rd overall pick and we're picking behind Washington and New York, right? We'll just say that hypothetically. There is a good chance that an offensive-minded coach would love to come in here and say, yeah, let me get, picks of the litter at the quarterback position, and we can move on from there. And I think it would certainly be an upgrade, but it's hard to envision all those things lining up in place for the Jets.
Tank for Ty. Mike Florio, with all his sources, doesn't know that Woody hugs him every day. AG is staying. You might not be wrong. All right, more of your outstanding calls right now, ladies and gentlemen. This guy always brings it.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
Hi, guys.
David T.
Hey, hello. I don't think Aaron Glenn's going to be fired, but I think he's in a position where, Woody should say it's time for us to part ways. I think Rob had a great call. I mean, I think there are some viable candidates, but just hypothetically using Mike McCarthy, and, we'll give Aaron Glenn a little bit of credit. He made some good hires, and Muji's, I like him. So I think the foundation is laid. So, why prolong it? But I don't think it's going to happen. Like you guys said, I think it's more Woody Johnson's ego. So my worst fear is Mike McCarthy is named head coach of the Giants next year, and it just burns underneath all our butts. You know what I mean?
It could happen. I think it'd be a good hire by them.
Yeah, I know you've been saying that, Jake. You've been saying that all along. But that's the Jets' MO or luck or whatever,
Ladies and gentlemen, David T.
I got my eye on you. Checkmate me full screen. It's fireball whiskey time. David motherfucking T.
What do we have here? We have more calls, DT. We have more calls. This man, is he getting out of the hospital today? Johnny Boy is next. Hello, Johnny.
DT, Jake. Yeah,
Johnny
man.
Boy.
I'm just waiting. I had to eat all 3 of my meals today, and I have to clear everything, which I've been clearing everything, and had to do a couple of different like walking exercises and et cetera, which was cool. So I got it all done, but they're working on my discharge papers, and I'll be on the way to the house. So I can't wait. Wifey's picking me up. The kids don't know, so I can't wait.
Oh, you're gonna surprise them?
That's gonna be awesome.
So I can't wait for that.
All 17 of your kids don't know?
No, I gotta go buy like a gallon of ice cream. I want to get some ice cream. So but I just came in, man, dude. There's some beef up in the back, bro. And cats are like just trying to,
The chat's popping off.
Yeah, chat's popping off today, man.
I didn't even read the private chat. I've been getting flamed so much in the public chat that.
Oh, it's all good, man. Hey, if you don't got haters, you ain't popping. I heard there was a guy who used to say that used to be over here for the Jets back in the day.
A guy who might have done a Colgate commercial that was aired at the worst time ever.
You clown sucking douchebag.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, that really was. So question, right? With this game coming up, and I want to ask both of you guys. Doesn't this feel like it's going to be? I understand that now that we want to kind of stay And if we could keep going up the draft to try to get closer to that first pick, but doesn't it feel like this is the game where, everybody's coming against us right now? Brand new defensive coordinator. And you're going to see the team start to get interceptions out of nowhere, get like some crazy pick six, and then here we are. Or am I just tripping out and it's the meds that's talking right now?
I think there is a chance that they win this game for sure. Tyler Shuck has 6 touchdowns and 5 interceptions passing. So there's obviously the Chris Harris, bump to this defense, right? Could you imagine though, Johnny boy, if this team won on Sunday?
Dude, people are going to be
so mad.
People are going to end up like you in the hospital. They're going to have aneurysms and strokes, man. It's going to be crazy.
I hope that doesn't happen because it sucks, bro, being here, dude. I'll tell you that much. But no, you're right. I could just see it, bro. People come on the show just literally just beefing each other to the point where Jay can't even have people on for no more than 10 seconds.
It could be bad.
It's time to do it. But I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that. And
how much weight have you lost, Johnny boy? You look very thin right now,
bro. I lost over 20 pounds, man.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how crazy this was, So I was able to do 2 push-ups yesterday because just you're not supposed to, so don't tell anything at all and everything. But
this isn't on the internet or anything, Johnny.
Yeah. No, I wanted to try.
There's only thousands of people that will see this. It's all good.
I did that second one, man, and it was like, you better stop. You better stop, sucker. So,
well, what's your diet looking like right now? Is it more like a liquid diet,
it's
or
liquid? It's like clear liquids and everything's soft right now. But
so you're definitely not getting the energy from your food to be able to do push-ups. Yeah, it's tough.
Hey, let me bring on my diet expert, Beast. What do you think of the liquid diet?
Yeah, it'll be fine. But Johnny boy, congrats, my man. Keep up the work, and Merry Christmas to you, big man.
Hey, DT, Jake, man, I appreciate you guys. I've been, watching from the back. I know I haven't been calling it in a moment, but you guys are killing it as always, man. Love the takes today. And hey, to everybody that reached out and said anything in regards to this, I appreciate you guys, man. You guys be good, all right?
We love you, enjoy the moment with your family, Johnny. Glad that you're getting out of the hospital. That's awesome.
Yep. Everybody go support Johnny Boy and Snowball. Go get yourself a Jets Worldwide hat.
Wad. Robin checks in the raffle for 1. DT's right about Glenn. We need a more measured response about firing him for our own sanity. We need to let him do his job and evaluate him early next year. I'll push back on the last part, Robin. Evaluate him early next year. Well, that's concerning because,
you're evaluating him now.
Yeah, it's not about early next year. It's like if we move forward with him, he's getting all of next year. Don't have the idea in mind of, we'll just pull the plug on him 5 games in, like what they did to Salah. That blows up your entire operation and makes next year automatically another lost season. The playoff drops at 16. You evaluate right now. Is he still our guy that we have full belief in? And if the answer is yes, he's the coach. If the answer is no, Woody Johnson needs to do what Robert Kraft did, but I doubt Woody would do it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the season, it all comes down to what Woody thinks about AG. And like I said in the beginning, I don't think, to your point, that there is that ounce of not regret, but I messed up and I got the wrong guy. I actually think Woody Johnson still believes AG is the right guy.
Yeah,
100%. Whether he is or isn't. And that's, Woody's decision to find out. But I don't know. It's tough. I feel like there's such a lack of nuance around the coaching staff right now. It's just it's either they're all in and they're great, or they're all bad and they need to be fired. There's got to be some middle ground. Not everything is going to be perfect. Obviously, more things have been bad than not, but I don't know. It's tough. AG put us in a bad spot. That's all I can say.
C in the raffle for 2. Everyone's wasting their breath. Glenn back in 26. If next year's a similar result, totally different story. Rooting for AG. Hope this time next year we're in a better place. God, we better be.
Is it so hard with the 4th place schedule to ask them to be 6-6?
Yes.
Through 13 weeks. Is that so hard to have?
It could be. Paul Faz is next. Hey, Paul. Are you in the
What's going
hospital
on,
too,
guys?
Paul?
Well, it's almost asleep. I just want to say one thing for starters. We can't compare Aaron Glenn to Kotite, okay? Because there's no comparison. Kotite was by far the worst. That man had gifted to him probably one of the best Philadelphia Eagle teams in history and screwed it up. So I just don't think you can compare. He had prior experience and was horrible when he came here and horrible before that. Glenn still needs a little more time, but not saying he's doing well. And I hate the Eagles, so I want to make that clear. But that being said, we got to give Aaron at least a little bump over Kotite. The way I see this going down, before the year started, I was already crushed like everybody else. All I asked for was to see improvement or a solid offensive line and competent management / coaching. I feel I got half my wish with the O-line, and I also feel I got half of the management part. I think there's been some good and there's been some bad, right? I think at the end of the day, we're screwed already. We know this. This year is a disaster, and the fact to think it's going to 360 next year, I don't foresee it happening. But I think in regards to Aaron Glenn, I do agree he's going to be here next year. I think we need to suck that up. I don't think they'll even fire him mid-season, because I think the only reason that the only person that ever got fired mid-season was Saleh last year. And the only reason to me that happened was Woody got embarrassed when we went overseas and shit the bed. And he had enough, and he, as he always does, meddled and got involved and made a very wrong decision. There was still too much season left for Saleh to turn it around, and I'm not a Saleh fan, but just saying there could have been a chance for us to still turn that season around, and what he did gave us zero chance.
Where's the dog, Paul? Where's the dog? Where's the dog?
Well, I got two. Right here is Max. He's
not the one yelling.
He's 130-pound shepherd, but my Barker's right there.
That's the Barker. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Lucas. Sit.
So I do want to push back, Paul. You did.
Sure,
it has nothing to do with the analysis. It's strictly the number that you used, a 360-degree turn. We can't do a 360 because then we end back up in the same place. We got to do a 180.
But we tend to do that, right?
Yes, we go back. Yeah,
we are a 360 team, yeah. But so now I'm just to the point where, like, I know they're not going to get rid of him. I know we're all hoping for that because we just want to see win, right? At the end of the day, it's not going to happen. They're not going to get rid of him. So now I've just accepted a new thing in my head because I have no choice, because this is what we have and where we're screwed, right? So my hopes are now that, okay, let's hopefully get a better DC. Let's do the right thing with quarterback next year, whether it's in the draft, but we still need a good bridge. And I don't want, what's his name that you mentioned earlier? I just definitely don't want him. Dylan,
Tyler.
Who did you name?
Tyler Murray.
Yeah, I don't want Murray. Give me somebody else beside Murray. There's something about him. I don't want him here. And with the whole field situation, we knew we took a chance. If we would all thought it was that bad, yeah, we could have said Terry Bridgewater or somebody else, right? But every year he was improving. I do think they overpaid for him, but I also think that they really did believe that he was going to keep improving and gave him a 2-year deal. They messed up. I'm not saying they didn't, but the reality is our owner did not want, I don't care what anybody says, he meddled. He did not want Aaron Rodgers back. And that's a fact. And they had no choice to move on from Rodgers. So I just need to keep bringing that up, because I do think he would have kept him if it wasn't for ownership. So right now, all I'm praying for is the same thing we all are, is that we just keep seeing some improvement next year and maybe get a chance, because let's be realistic. We've had one of the worst defenses in football this year, and we've had one of the worst quarterbacks in football this year. it is extremely hard to judge. I mean, I think we'd have probably 4 more wins right now and have it be a 7-win team with 3 going in if we had competency in both. Not even talking great, just competent, right? So
here's the thing, though, Paul.
And I know he did it.
Right. But some of that's on the head coach. So it's like when you're
Right.
evaluating, where this team is going, that's what gives the Jet fan concern, right? They paid Fields, gave him the job with no competition, grossly overpaid. And it's not just that he sucked. He's never been this bad in his career, right? Like Mike Tomlin went 4-2 with him last year. Fields, at the end of his time in Chicago, was playing well enough where there was a healthy debate amongst Bears fans. Do they stick with Fields or do they take Caleb Williams, right? Like that was a big talking point. So I get it, but that's all part of the conversation here. Kyle Clifton in the raffle for 2. Sorry, DT, just make your point.
I was going to say, Jason from Over the Cap tweeted something about the quarterback contract structure, and it directly relates to Fields getting that second year. He says, I do wonder if the league is at a breaking point with some of the quarterback contracts. The quote, well, the last okay guy got paid, so you get paid too. System has not worked out at all. The lower end of the market for the Darnold Mayfield types has evolved, but it's a hard sell for extensions for top picks. You look at the guys that got 2-year contracts, right? That seemed to be like the trend. If I'm going to go out and get a backup bridge style quarterback, I'm going to give him a 2-year deal, right? Mac Jones, Jameis Winston, Justin Fields. I think Daniel Jones was the only like potential competitive bridge option that got a 1-year deal. And none of those guys really panned out. So the league is going to correct itself because of this. And Justin Fields is a perfect example. You give him a 1-year deal, and then mid-season, if the Jets are 4-3 with Justin Fields through 7 games, you talk about that little extension down the road. So a lot of teams did the 2-year deal thing, like Mac Jones as well. And now we can't get those guys, but it definitely has not panned out for most of the teams that have done that.
Kyle Clifton. Oh, and Mike Florio's mom is a man. He makes water sitting down and waits to get asked to prom, then goes with his sister when no one asked him. Tell us how you really feel about Mike Florio there, Kyle.
Golly. Clifton off the top rope.
Joe M says AG could streak across the field during a game like bodysuit man, and he's still not getting fired this season or the offseason. So what Joe M is saying is Aaron Glenn could take a dump on Woody Johnson's desk, and Woody would say, well, I wanted to get a new desk anyway.
There's got to be a line with this shit. AG can't like commit crimes and run around the field. Like he can't do all that. But yeah, it's tough, man.
Big fella, Hendon Hooker, Vol legend, LFG. Big fella was so anti the Jets getting Hendon Hooker, but now that he's on the practice squad, he loves it.
I mean, kudos for sticking up for your Vols. Obviously, there's some better players than there are, Hooker out there from the Tennessee group. But hey, hopefully we don't have to see him.
WRX with the super chat in the raffle for 1. Those tuning in late, this is the prize today. Signed Pennington football, baby. And then our 3 raffle prizes that you also qualify for in our weekly series on Tuesday is a signed Vinny T jersey, signed New York Sack Exchange football, and last but certainly not least, our grand prize, signed ball by the late, great Nick Mangold. We need to bring in a QB coach who could develop a QB. Why is no one talking about that? I've been talking about this for months, right, Charles?
Yeah, we all have.
Don't say why nobody's talking about that. I was the first show, I guarantee the first show to bring up Charles London from the beginning, how it never made any sense that a former college running back who's only coached running backs until the last couple of years, he magically started coaching quarterbacks, was in charge of the development of Fields and the quarterback room. It never made any sense to me. So no, don't say how come no one's talking about it? I've been talking about it for months. I never understood the hire in the first place.
Yeah, the best quarterback that I think Charles London has really ever worked with, like in a capacity of trying to develop him, might be Malik Willis. Excuse me, Jesus Christ! I'm getting all my hookers mixed up now. It would be Malik Willis, who is now in Green Bay, and it's like that is not the guy that you want to invoke if your resume is to then develop a Justin Fields. But I was still with Jet Nation when they hired Glenn, and when they were rounding out their staff. Glenn Naughton and I, the co-host of Jet Nation, like we were very critical of the Charles London hire. We liked the Scott Turner hire as the pass game coordinator. And I almost felt like you should have made him the OC/pass game coordinator because like Charles London, it just felt like a very waste of a hire almost. And it looks like he's probably going to be the first, if not second coach replaced if we would have our way.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. C, we won 2 more games in an all-in year in year 4 of a regime. The roster was grossly overrated. Let's see what it looks like next year with new faces. Yes and no, C. You can make that point, but come on, man. Like, some of the players that we know were good, they completely regressed. And we could say, oh, we won 2 more games in an all-in year, referring to last year's team. Some of that was because Greg Zuerlein single-handedly cost them anywhere from 2 to 3 games just on that. If they had Nick Falk on last year's team, they win way more than 5 games. Let's be honest about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tough. When you're this bad, and I've said this probably 2 months ago on your show, when you're this bad, you can point to any one specific thing, say it's not working, and we need to change it, and you're probably right.
What do we have here? Big fella. No, I was against. Oh, that's right. Okay, I stand corrected. You were against Joe Milton, not Hendon Hooker. Got it.
Well, you should be.
All right. More of your calls right now. Home stretch of the show. Then we have the raffle. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up.
He's pointing. Garrett Box, I'm pointing at you. Garrett Box, I point at you. Garrett Box, I'm pointing. I'm pointing. I'm pointing. I'm pointing. Garrett Box, point at you. I point.
I got it wrong. Jake always throws you over there, and I'm used to being over here.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I was the Joe Milton guy. That was my guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was the Joe Milton guy. So that's Gary 2, Joe Douglas nothing, because he took Jordan Travis. How did Jordan Travis's career turn out? Pretty good.
Whoa. We're going victory lap Joe Milton.
Oh yeah.
Can you claim Joe Milton as a win?
Oh yeah. He's in the NFL. How's Jordan Travis doing?
Well, his leg exploded.
His leg exploded before you drafted him. That wasn't after.
It's like a victory lap in a wheelchair. Like this is like
I'm telling you guys, once Joe Milton gets a shot,
This is like being the tallest midget. This is not a win.
Gary, you were the Rattler guy. Just stick with the Rattler take. Don't do the Milton stuff. Just stick with Rattler.
I give you guys a sleeper every year. One year it was Milton, another year it was Rattler. I give you guys gold every year.
And neither starting and they stink, but continue.
And both are better than Jordan Travis, which is who we drafted. So Gary 2, Joe Douglas 0.
Well, I mean, you famously said Joe Douglas should have been fired 2 days before he was hired.
I don't think I actually said that, but it sounds like something I'd say. So we can go with that. It sounds like something I would say. But I did want to come after Dylan because you kind of, and maybe I read your reaction wrong. We were talking about Cliff Kingsbury.
Yes.
And we're saying he's a quarterback whisperer or he knows how to build a quarterback. And you said, does he really? I just, can we go through it?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. At Houston, OC, Case Keenum became the most prolific passer in the history
You're starting
of
at college.
football.
Houston.
Yeah.
Houston, the university. Yes.
Then he went with someone to A&M and built Johnny Manziel. Then he got a head coaching job at Texas Tech and took a walk-on in Baker Mayfield and turned him into one of the best passers in college football. Then he made Davis Webb a pro. Davis Webb, he got into the NFL. Davis Webb is one of the worst quarterbacks ever. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Then he went to the Cardinals and made people think that Kyler Murray, when I'm with you on Kyler Murray, he made people think that Kyler Murray was good. And then he went back to college. And we got Caleb, so we wouldn't even count that. I'm not going to say he made Caleb great. Caleb was the Heisman before he got there, so ignore that. And then he went back to Washington and gave Jaden Daniels the greatest season in the history of rookies. I would say that's a pretty
Was
good
it the
track
greatest season in the history
It's
of
on a short list.
I'm not pushing back. I was just asking.
Statistically, it's the best, but like we could argue other quarterback. Like
either him or Stroud, I would say, had the best.
Stroud.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're describing. If I didn't hear you say Cliff Kingsbury at all, I would think you're talking about a guy like Lincoln Riley.
June Jones. Yeah, I could see
really good in college, but has his shortcomings in the NFL. And I don't know did Cliff learn enough from his time in Arizona being the head coach where he can go then fix all those things a second time around as head coach. I would love Cliff as the OC I just
You're
don't
not
know if
getting
you want him as.
yeah.
Of course not. You're not taking a lateral move from Washington to the Jets, but I think he's not as good of a head coach as he is. So even if he is that slight quarterback whisperer, is it enough in the totality of everything to get the whole team playing good? I don't know. I'm not saying I'm out on Cliff Kingsbury, but I don't know. He sounds like Lincoln Riley to me.
That's fair, but let me give you my plan. It's not nice, and it's business. You hire Kingsbury. You let Kingsbury pick the quarterback. Give him 2 years to develop the quarterback. Now you're ready to compete. You fire Cliff Kingsbury, and you're going to get a real head coach.
So Cliff is the mentor bridge option at head coach. Yeah,
like kind of the Buck Showalter role, right? Like
you could convince me that you could do that with Mike McCarthy. Where Mike McCarthy's your 1 or 2 year stopgap guy to go get the rookie quarterback and bring him in 100%. Yeah,
he's the Tom Thibodeau. He's the stabilizer.
Yes,
gets
sure.
you out of hell, back on track, and if you determine he can't get you to the next level, you make a change. But we got to get out of hell first. That's been my big thing for a while.
Right.
And we can't. I don't know if we're going to draft another quarterback. I'm starting to think we might not. Like that's why I kind of want to win, so we're not in position to draft a quarterback.
Joe, do not say that. No, stop it.
I really like. Here's my thought. I like your idea of Kyler Murray. I'm not saying Kyler Murray is great, but there's so many quarterback play in the NFL is so bad. Yes. You can recycle a bad quarterback. Let's not build another one, right? Like there's so many foreclosures in the market. Just pick a foreclosure. Don't build another one. And I feel like taking Mendoza is just building another house that's going to go in a foreclosure. Like this isn't going to
might be good though. He's like more and more people like him a lot.
Do you think, Gary, historically
he's the perfect quarterback? He's 6'5". He's got this.
I'll say perfect.
When I say perfect, I mean like he's like what you would bet on.
Yeah,
he's perfect for them. I mean like he's like what you would bet on. Like obviously it's all crapshoot no matter what. But when I say perfect, I mean like he's the perfect like chance you would take if you're trying to find your guy. Like he's got
what
the
does
size,
he do that
he's
jumps
got
off the page?
He's accurate. He's turned around losing programs, and he's probably the smartest prospect we've had in a couple of years.
He didn't turn around losing program. Indiana made the playoffs before he got there.
Yeah, but I mean, he won the Heisman in Indiana. He
had a great season. He had an amazing season. You know,
but they also had the second best rushing offense and the like second or third or fourth best defense in terms of scoring. So like there was a lot of things put around him at Indiana to succeed, and that's kind of the plan that I would like the Jets to take. Dummy-proof this offense for a rookie quarterback. Go get as many pass-catching weapons as you can. Re-sign Simpson, AVT. You already got Myers. Go draft a day 2 or 3 interior defense or offensive linemen. Spend some free agency dollars on defense, and I feel like you have the nucleus around a rookie quarterback. It's just so hard to put all the eggs in that basket. But I lean more with the veteran side of it, and I wanted to get your take. Do you think historically this team does better with veterans or rookies?
Well, veterans, but I mean, Pennington. But he was hurt all the time, right? I got Vinny Testaverde. They were good.
Those are the two names. It's Vinny and Chad.
Chad's sad. But hold on. But Sanchez, the last time they had success, Sanchez was a rookie in his second year. So like,
I'm saying the quarterback having success
was, and I like Sanchez more than most of them. I don't know about you, but like the chat, they hate Sanchez. I don't hate
Sanchez. No.
Okay, cool. I don't think
Ken O'Brien was a good pick. It wasn't Moreno, but he has like every passing record in Jet history.
Not Joe Namath's, but no,
not the 4,000 yards.
Yeah, we're going back to the 80s now. I'm saying in the last 40 years.
Since like 95, since I was born in the last 30 years, it seems like the team historically does better with the veteran option. So if my choices were trade up for Mendoza or sign a veteran, I'm probably signing a veteran and taking a day 2 swing at quarterback, because then you can fall back on 2027 and say, hey, we took a second round guy. We can take another swing at quarterback, and it could still actually be AG making that pick.
What is the percent likelihood? Like if you had to set the odds, if you were making the book, there's rumors. What would you say the odds that Glenn gets fired is?
I said 3% earlier.
Okay.
I would say 2%. Yeah.
So this is just, I mean, isn't.
I mean, 63-0, 3 weeks in a row, maybe gets him fired, but like, you don't let him make those trades if you don't at least plan on giving him 2026.
I agree, and that was what like because I'm rooting for him. I want him to work out.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
But I don't see it. I don't want to do this thing that the Giants did, that the Bears did, where you draft a quarterback and then you have to fire your coach because it's not working.
Right.
And then you got to try to find
like
a
Grinch
coach.
just said, who cares if they ruin the rookie? Just draft one. It's like you can't just assume that they're going to get another crack at it if they ruin a rookie. And I understand 1 year is hard to ruin a player, but like we've seen this team do some crazy stuff with the quarterback position. So
yeah, but if they are the Giants, right, Gary, or they are the Bears, like the Bears figured it out because they got Ben Johnson for Caleb. The Giants, despite how bad of a situation, Dart has played well enough where that's an attractive job for someone to go coach him. So like, you get the right guy, you're still going to be okay if that quarterback shows you something.
He did, right? And the Bears were a good situation. And Caleb's in a great spot. And he's still pretty, like his completion percentage is 58%.
You weren't a Caleb guy, were you?
No, and JJ McCarthy's 56%. I mean, this is really bad. I know that those teams are doing okay, but the Bears are doing really well. But like 58%, 56% completion with those two guys who are high draft picks, that's abysmal. Like that's terrible. That's like worse than Geno Smith completion percentage. And I know there's more to it than just completion percentage, but like this is a league where you're supposed to move the ball and move the chains, and you're completing 58% of your passes in 2025. Quarterback play in and of itself is atrocious. I saw a stat today that like kind of blew my mind. In 2018, that was just 7 years ago, there was 18. It was 18. It might have been 19. 18 quarterbacks that threw for 250 yards per game. So 250 per game. 18 of them. So most of them. How many do you think are throwing for 250 yards today per game?
There's 10 quarterbacks averaging over 230 yards per game this year. There's probably about 4 averaging 245 or more. I did the numbers because I did a video discussing 4K passers versus 1K rushers. We're on pace to have 15 to 20 1,000-yard rushers this season. We might get lucky with like 10 to 12 4K passers, and the number has been going down.
That's what the quarterback play in and of itself is declining at breakneck speeds. And like, I don't want to just draft another one. Like, we look at these guys.
Gary, you only do it if you have belief in the guy you're taking.
Yeah. Which you can believe in Mendoza, right? Because of the development and the upbringing, right? If you watch him at Cal, he's making a lot of mistakes that he then corrected in Indiana. And I understand Kurt Cignetti is a very good coach, but you at least see the progression, right? You don't necessarily see that progression from UCLA to Oregon, Dante Moore, because he didn't have the time on task at the first school. With Mendoza, you can buy into the fact that he's shown improvement on tape. He is smart as all hell. I don't love the fact that he was wooing Urban Meyer. Like, that doesn't mean anything to me. But if we heard Dante Moore talk like that about Fernando Mendoza, I would immediately put Dante Moore as my number one over Mendoza. But you see the surrounding support system of Mendoza as to how you can dummy proof it for him in the NFL and have him have a ton of success. I think he could be a top 12 quarterback in this league.
Okay. That was my thing on Shedeur Sanders. And I was like, no one thinks Shedeur Sanders is going to be the next great quarterback. So don't take him, right? And then he fell all in the 5th round. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. But like with Mendoza, I feel like the hype on him is, well, he won't be that bad. Like, good enough isn't good enough, right? Like,
it kind of is though, because that bust rate spot screws you. Like, if you draft Kirk Cousins or Jared Goff, that's more than fine.
Is your goal to?
It depends on how quickly he becomes that.
Playoffs, or is your goal to win a Super Bowl? Like, what's your goal?
My goal is to have a chance every year. And if you have a franchise quarterback, you have a chance every year.
If he's Trevor Lawrence, you happy with that?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not. I can't. Trevor Lawrence does not give you a chance to win unless everything else is perfect.
We don't know that he's won a playoff game.
I don't know if that's true.
He's been in the league 5 years. He's won one playoff game. That's as many as Tim Tebow and Danny Jones.
His first year was Urban Meyer. They had the end of Dougie P. Look, I don't think Lawrence has been great, but like at least he's on a second contract. Like,
where would you put Lawrence in the league? Like 1 to 32.
He's probably somewhere around the middle. Like, he's probably in the middle. I'd have to go through all the names.
This year, he's probably like 9 to 11.
He's probably this year. But I'm saying his body of work, right? Like,
but he's getting better. He's ascending. He's young.
Well, also, I think
it's his 5th year, Jake.
The marriage of Liam Cohen. I think the marriage of Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence is like really going to help him a lot, and that's really important for, again, if you had a Mendoza, who is is Tanner Angstrand your Liam Cohen? I don't know. Like, I have some kind of optimism that he could be. It's just, yes, if you take the quarterback, you need the environment. That's the only important thing. But if he becomes a top 12 quarterback, then like I think it's a big hit as opposed to the 45th best quarterback that you took 2 overall.
Chicken with pasta is worse than peanut butter with sandwich.
All right, we're at the 2-hour mark already, and we still got to do the raffle here. So let me get caught up on the super chats. I'm going to try and get to as many people as we can, but there's no guarantees right now. Matt L says Chad Pennington for QB coach. Chad, I asked him about it. He said that he doesn't want to get into any professional coaching till his kids are done because he coaches his kids in high school. So I don't think Chad is going to be doing that anytime soon. But obviously, we'd love to have him be a part of the Jets. There's no doubt. Lou B says, Dylan, we need the tank sheet. Who do we need to win tonight? Woody does know if he keeps AG, he'll lose money next year. It's a big factor.
Well, tonight does not play into our favor because it's two NFC teams. But there are a ton of matchups this week. We're looking at week 16. We have Tennessee, who can upset Kansas City and Gardner Minshew, who a lot of Jets fans apparently want. If you watched the 4 pass attempts that Gardner Minshew had last week, you would have watched a good look for
my.
You would have watched 3 really good ones and then 1 awful pass.
Yeah.
So Tennessee, you want Tennessee to beat Kansas City. Cleveland, if they can upset Buffalo, which I don't think is very possible.
They can beat Pittsburgh if they're playing for nothing in a few weeks. That's the Cleveland one.
Yeah, next week, Cleveland. And then they play Cincinnati in the final week of the season, or it's Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. They can win one of those 2 games. You have Houston versus Vegas. I don't think Houston's going to lose to Vegas, but that's another one that would tip the scales in our favor. Obviously, we need us to lose. The Lions beating the Steelers does help us in terms of strength of schedule. There's no other AFC matchups that really, obviously San Fran versus Indy, but it's really Tennessee over Kansas City. Cleveland, we're still begging for them to win at least 1 game. And Vegas, I don't think they're going to beat Houston, but next week, Vegas versus Giants.
And then they play the Chiefs after that without Mahomes. Maybe the Kansas City 3D chess. We don't want Mendoza in our division. Let's throw the game against them. Hey, now.
And weird things happen at this time of the year. Look at the laundry list of injuries on all the bad teams. I think Cleveland had like 17 members of their roster on the injury report. Obviously, not all of them are, DNPs, but it's at that point of the season where the bad teams are staying bad on purpose.
If Mad Max ain't yapping about Jets, that boy, he's jamming, he's slamming, freaking dancing, wall smashing. I'm Jake Asman. If Mad Max ain't ever stopped yapping, that boy, he still be dancing. Then call Jake Asman, he got an orange wall.
Can you guys hear me?
No.
Let's talk about the Jets versus Saints game. So we're gonna lose. I mean, it'll probably be another Jets debacle. Let's hope that Charles the defensive coordinator will be better. But honestly, the defensive backs coach should be fired. Our defense is inept. We have 0 interceptions.
Hold on, Mad Max. Hold on, before you keep rambling. You just said we hope Chris Harris is good, and then you want us to fire the defensive backs coach.
I mean, let's hope he's better than defensive.
It's the same person.
I get that. I'm just saying. I hope, as a Jets fan, I hope he would be better, but I really don't have hopes. Our defensive backs have 0 interceptions so far, and then I could probably catch more interceptions than the Jets players are.
So loud. Good God, Mad Max.
I could probably get more interceptions than the Jets defense right now. We're terrible, Jake.
Hey, punch the bag.
Y'all got nothing.
Oh no. Get Gary on here.
Gary, call in.
We need to evaluate these punches. What is this? Mad Max, what are you doing, bro?
Gary,
I'm boxing.
You look like a seal.
I'm boxing.
You look like a seal swinging your fists around. Oh no, the kick was worse. How did the kick get worse?
Hey, let me bring in my mixed martial arts expert here to kind of go over some things here. Ladies and gentlemen, we say hello to Sensei Beastbreaker.
That is not the way you punch that bag. That's terrible. You gotta stand straight, son. You gotta stand like this and get your arms and then jab. Not like that. No. More. Keep it up like that. There you go. I like that, man. You got a lot of work. You gotta keep trying and keep punching and punch and punch and punch.
Let's get it, Beast. Let's get the boxing. Let's get the punches go. Let's get the punches straight, Beast.
You gotta put it in full force. You're swinging away. You're throwing it like an ape. Even Rocky's manager would tell you, you're throwing it like an ape. Don't throw like an ape. Gotta go forward, like forward.
Purple belt Mike, he loves the dark knight. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that purple belt Mike. Purple belt Mike, it might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
Max. Purple belt Mike, what's up? How you doing?
Yo, bro, you can't swing sideways, and you're holding your hands like this, and your chin is up. Dude, you're gonna get knocked out. You gotta tuck your chin in. You gotta have your fists here. And when you throw a punch, you twist and you come back.
Yes, sir.
And every time you throw a punch, you're coming back because you want to protect your jaw with the other hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I get what you're saying.
Okay, going like this. This is no good. All right.
Yes, sir. I'm punching on the bag right now.
Your chin up is how you get knocked out. Gotta tuck that chin in and you lean forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You lean forward.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't want your head staying straight. You know, you gotta move. You know what I'm saying? If you stay straight, even if you do this and your head is straight, it's easy to hit. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good.
If Gary was on, he'd have a field day too, man.
Yes, that's true.
Go on YouTube, type in like boxing lessons, all right, and mimic that. That'll be better than just fucking swinging.
Sounds good.
Is this at your dorm?
It's at the gym. No, I'm at the gym right now. Purple Mike, I'm at the gym right now. I'm back home for break. I'm at the gym right now. I'm doing a little boxing.
Wait, is there other people in this gym?
Nah, I'm in the boxing room, so there's only like one person in the boxing room, honestly, PBM.
Yeah, that guy is like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yes, sir.
This is great.
No. You guys want to see the punch now? Let's see. Before we go, Purple Mike, J E T S. Jets.
Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets!
Dog.
One of the greatest segments in the history of the show.
What is this? He looked like a freaking seal flapping his like arms at like. Oh, no. The
Here's
way
Mad
he
Max if he gets into a fight with anyone.
The way he shrugged his shoulders and then went like this. All of it. I'm not a fighter. I got into a couple scuffs in high school, but if I punched those kids like that, I would never have made it out.
That ending with a jet chant too is just that's everything this community is about right there.
PBM says tuck your chin, and he's like,
he was like the Crimson Chin. He was like,
he looks like a Rock'em Sock'em robot when he gets his head like all the way extended. Oh boy, that was real, folks. That was real public. Mad Max. Oh no.
Mad Max. I am fascinated where he's going to be seated in the tournament because God, that guy's got a chance.
Yeah, you might need to name the whole bracket after him or the whole like region after Mad Max.
Unbelievable. All right, couple calls left here. Let's go to Jiggy and then you guys saw. I don't know. Jiggy, hello, Jiggy.
What's up, man? How you doing?
What up, Jiggy?
So
and Jiggy with it, yeah.
Yeah, take the braids out here. Look a little wild.
Yo, nice shirt, my guy.
Thank you. You know, polo out here.
Nice shirt, my guy.
A handsome man, that Jiggy the Jet Man.
Listen, living in Florida, I haven't put a hoodie on since I left New Jersey. It's either a polo tee or like a wife beater. Like I sweat.
Yeah, 100%. I'm in shorts in South Carolina, bro. It was like 62 degrees today. It was great.
Yeah, it's nice, but I wanted to call in because I like Dylan's call. You know, he's more of the give some Aaron Glenn leeway kind of. You know, I feel like you said earlier, he doesn't deserve to be fired this year, but like he still signed a contract. And I feel like Woody was smart when he gave him that contract. He saw what he was a part of in Detroit. That was a little bit of a lengthy process. And another thing Dylan said earlier that like Woody might have thought about or they might have talked about behind scenes is like, hey, we don't know who we need to keep and who we need to get rid of. So we're going to wait until the trade deadline, and then we can see how long of a process this might need to be. Whether it's going to go into next year or whether year 3, will be on the up and up. So I feel like Woody thought about that when he gave him that contract, and he is going to be a little patient since this is his own doing, bringing this man in. And as far as like, there's been a lot of people bashing the defense, but then you're asking them questions, how they feel about Angstrand, how do they feel about the rest of the coordinators, and they don't feel that bad about them. So it's like, we all feel like if Angstrand had a competent quarterback who could just get the ball out of his hands on time, we would have a better offense. If Braylon Allen didn't get hurt, we would definitely have a better running group. I feel like our offensive line is there, so just retain them. Find a competent quarterback. Whether I wouldn't personally want to trade up for Mendoza unless we're in the 2nd or 3rd pick, because we're going to have to give up a lot of capital, which I feel like is just neglecting what we did trading away Sauce and Williams. We needed that draft capital so that we can add more defensive players, D-line, whatever we need, rather than just going in spending all of that on a quarterback when this isn't a very quarterback friendly draft class. But as far as Glenn goes, though, I feel like I do have a lot of support for him still because, one, he's changing the culture. If you hear about, or if you're just watching the press conferences about his players, like, they truly believe in his message. A lot of them haven't been here for the last 3 or 4 years, so like they don't feel the losing of being the Jets, where JJ and some of them might feel it a little bit more, but they still are supportive of him. The penalties, they have been going down. Jake, I am with you. He should have, had Justin have a quarterback competition, but then again, there wasn't a lot on the market, and also everybody's saying, the contract is pissing them off, but they also are supportive of Muji. I'm pretty sure Muji did the numbers and AG just signed off on it. So if you're gonna throw,
though, Jiggy, they didn't even promise him the starting job though. They could have had him.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. Sure. I started off with that, but I'm saying if you're gonna throw shots at AG for the contract, also throw shots at Muji, because I'm pretty sure Muji broke down the numbers for that.
Oh, so Muji doesn't get a pass for Fields either, but I think Muji since then, like in season and the deals, he's done a better job at his job than Glenn has at his to this point.
Of course, but I feel like we aren't giving him the leeway where their injuries are playing in a part of the defense looking bad. I was at the Jacksonville game, like, you can see the defense on the sideline, bad body language. You can see some of them grouping up and talking. I'm sure if there was other Jets fans there, they could say the same thing. While the offense, they're up, they're talking to their coaches, they're looking at the iPads, they're trying to figure out how to be better on offense. This is things I'm physically seeing with my own eyes. And me playing at the collegiate level, I know what it is being a part of a rebuild and not trusting in one coach, but trusting in your head coach. I know what it is when, you're on the field and it's new to everybody, but one person fucks up and now everybody's on the sideline pointing fingers, talking at the coaches, and they're not a collective. But I feel like at the end of the day, as a team, Aaron Glenn is changing that culture. And I feel like if you look at little things, you can see that. He just needs more of his people that he's going to bring in this next draft and this free agency, because they do have a lot of money and they do have a lot of capital. So once he's able to fully install his culture after a year and another training camp with, his own quarterback, once again, he's getting his mulligan on the quarterback because he did bring Jay Fields in, but we all are kind of in agreement that last year's free agency wasn't that great, and Kyler Murray isn't looking that great either. So it's going to be a hit or a miss. But my last thing, I feel like we do need Garrett and Mason to play these last couple of games.
No, stop it.
We need to evaluate Brady Cook because, as I'm saying, the free agency as quarterback is not that great.
He's not going to start next year in any capacity. He could maybe be a backup. We don't need Garrett back to risk him to see what we have in Brady Cook. Come on. He's a UDFA for a reason. He's on 5 picks and two appearances so far. He could be a backup, maybe a camp arm.
That's the lack of being out there. That's the lack of having that offensive lineup.
Jiggy, I appreciate your defensive, Glenn. I got to stop you if you're trying to say we need to potentially risk Garrett Wilson's health for the future so we can evaluate Brady Cook.
Only if he's healthy. I
don't think he's healthy. 100%. I don't think he's healthy.
But you got to look at how he can move the ball with Mechie, Garrett, Mason, a whole bunch of weapons that were not being utilized by these other quarterbacks.
That's what
You see
practice
what I'm
is
saying?
for. He's been with them all year. They know.
Practice and game is two different scenarios. You know
I
what
get
I
it, but I
mean?
can't risk Garrett Wilson. And Mason Taylor's got a neck injury. He hasn't practiced for 2 straight weeks. I can't put these guys out there.
Only if they are healthy. Like if they're saying they're not healthy and they're just keeping them, or if they are healthy and they're saying they're not, just to extend the season to lose those games, I'm not supportive of that. I would rather see what we truly have in Brady Cook. You put him out there with offensive weapons so that, okay, boom, maybe we need another receiver to be out there with Mechie, with AD Mitchell and Garrett. Or maybe we do need another running back besides, Braylon and Isaiah Davis. We need to know what we need more on the offensive side, because honestly, AD Mitchell is looking like a valuable number 2.
Don't we know though, Jiggy? Like, again, good call, man. You have rational points, and I appreciate you going to bat for the head coach. Don't we kind of know what this team needs? Like, how much is really going to change with 3 games to go? We like Mason Taylor. We know they have Garrett Wilson. We know that Mitchell and Mechie could be the 3 and 4 next year, maybe a 2, but you could still add another playmaker to that room. We know the offensive line has at least 3 bona fide studs on it. You'll figure out what you do at left and right guard this offseason, and or center, right? Depending on what they want to do with Tippmann. Like, you'll figure that out. Like, we kind of know what they need. Like, if they're going to keep Brees, I think they are. You have him and the 2 other running backs that are coming back. Like, for the most part, the offense, we kind of know. They need a quarterback. That's the biggest thing they need. And there's nothing Brady Cook could do where he'd play well enough where he'd go into camp next year as a guy competing for a starting spot. I don't care how well. He could play like Mike White against the Bengals the final 3 weeks, and that wouldn't change things.
No, it would just make you feel better about your quarterback 3 situation. We still need to add 2 quarterbacks, one being more of the answer for the future. If you want to bring in a bridge guy, obviously I keep saying, Kyler Murray, but if you wanted to bring in an older guy who's less like a short-term bridge, then sure. Either way, I mean, we can't go 3-11 to start next year. We have to win games immediately. And, to his point, there is some things where there's like breadcrumbs of leeway you can give to AG, but in the majority of it, it's just been pretty bad.
The pain. Raffle's coming up shortly. ISU is in for 1. Derek, the Jet fan, is in for 1. And the big fella with this message is in for 1. Everyone check out the Gorman show. His show last night was awesome. He has a wealth of superhero knowledge and is must-see. How about that? Big fella going to bat for Charles Eugene M. Gorman. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize in advance for this next one, but he's waited on hold a while. Ladies and gentlemen, your warning is being issued.
Warning! Warning! Allen alert! Shit's about to get ugly, folks. Warning! Allen alert! Hide the children!
Good afternoon, gentlemen. First of all, that
I don't
last
get it. Are you an
call-
A&M fan? And how many college teams do you root for?
No, I'm going to the game Saturday. I'm rooting for them. I'm looking forward to it. I'm an Iowa fan, but I'm rooting for A&M on Saturday. Thank you.
What is your connection to A&M other than just living in Texas?
No, I have friends who are A&M fans, and I hate UT. So that's pretty much it. Either
How do
you
you
like
hate UT?
I hate UT. That's why me and Gary like to battle.
Oh, I was just going to say you and Gary probably go at
Yeah,
that
we
a lot
fight
then.
all the time. Okay. First of all, that call, the Jiggy call, I've never heard from him before. That guy couldn't be serious with that call, right? I've never heard a guy with worse takes in my life. He said this team is playing. What did he say? This team's playing hard for the coach, or
He said the way that the players speak about the head coach made it seem like they have not given up on him yet.
given up? Did you watch the last 2 weeks?
They gave
That
up on
team-
Wilkes. They absolutely gave up on Wilkes.
He tried to separate Glenn from Wilkes, which I think falls on the head coach in total when it looks that bad. 2 straight
can't be
weeks.
serious. Wilkes was hired by Glenn. Is that correct? So they're quitting on the coach. They're not quitting just on Wilkes. They're quitting on the coach. Is that correct?
Well, it's an extension of Glenn because it's his defensive coordinator, sure.
And please do not bring Garrett back. I don't know what he's talking about. So please,
I
better
stopped
takes next
then.
time, buddy. Thank you very much.
You don't need to belittle him, guy.
Of course I need to.
Who made you the
Sometimes
arbiter
need to
of
be belittled.
takes?
You do. Dylan, I want to agree with you on one of your takes. I know it's shocking. Okay.
Holy shit!
I have
Check the
no
temperature in
interest-
hell, folks.
It is. I know. I have no interest in Darian Mensah on the Jets.
Okay. Yeah.
Darian Mensah, as you mentioned, and I watched some of his tape. his arm strength.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
Jiggy, I'm sorry. That is
You
a
belittle who? But wait, hold on. Belittle
That
who?
is
I'm
a
a grown man.
horrendous
No. We're gonna go back. Belittle who?
I'm belittling you on that one. Yes, that's a horrendous call.
No.
I will credit you on calls. That might be the worst call I've ever heard. You think this team hasn't quit on the coach? You watched
They
the
quit
last
on the
2 weeks.
defensive coach.
No,
I was at the
Hold on.
game last week. Yes,
the
I was.
defensive coach
I
was
was.
hired by who?
Okay, first off, in the beginning of the season, right?
I don't
Everybody
give a
was
damn at the beginning of the season.
Everybody,
listen.
listen.
They lost.
He did a job. He did a job terribly. That's why he lost his job. In the beginning of the season, everybody was co-signing the hiring because you needed a veteran president. That's your problem. That's your problem. You guys were saying things in the past, and it didn't work out properly. And now you want to throw rocks and talk shit.
Why?
You feel what I'm saying?
What's the point of bringing Garrett back? Why?
I just explained my point. If you listen,
but it makes no sense.
We need a competent quarterback too. Tyrod Taylor cannot stay healthy. Justin Fields does not need to come back. At this point, next year, it's going to be very hard for us to win games. I want us to get to a point of rebuilding and being on top.
A backup in this league?
Yes, I do. Better than he's playing. He's letting the ball go better than
Brady Cook
the quarterbacks
is not a backup
that we had
league.
in.
Sorry, Jimmy,
how many drops did
he's
this man
not
have
an
in the last
NFL
couple
quarterback.
weeks? Mason Taylor has had plenty of drops.
Again, he's
A.D.
not
Mitchell
an
has
NFL
drops.
quarterback. He's not.
When did you ever evaluate a quarterback?
Again, he is
At
not an
any level.
NFL
At any
quarterback.
level. At any level.
He's not
Jiggy,
an
what's
NFL
up, brother?
quarterback.
What
Yo,
happened?
Jiggy, what's
What
up,
did you
man?
say?
Yo, what's up, man?
You're great. You're a great guy. You are a character.
Don't worry about. Don't worry.
You're-
Let me
you're-
handle
you're a
this.
character to me.
This overbone Patriots loser because he has no brains the size of a piss ant. Look, fella. You are a flea bat. You're bringing in the fleas. You know what I have to do to get rid of the fleas? Yeah, go get my vac so I can Yeah, get rid of the
Beast,
fleas.
you're an idiot.
You are
Beast,
an idiot.
you're always going to be an idiot.
I'm
Beast,
more
I
smarter than
hope
you.
to
I
come
am
to
more
Chicago.
Call me Alan and everybody hates me cause I'm a super douchebag.
Jiggy, you're a tremendous caller.
I never got to hear what Alan agreed with me on.
Do we care?
Yeah.
Fine.
The one time Alan actually agrees with me.
Alan, can you make this quick? I got somewhere to be. I got more calls first.
Trust me, you have nowhere to be, Jake. Trust
I
me.
have plenty of
He's
places
got
to
dinner
be.
plans, Alan. He does.
Yeah,
I do.
dinner plans by himself. I appreciate it. Dylan.
You would have no idea.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate that, Jake. Thank you. Dylan, again, Darian Mensah in the Northeast would be a disaster.
Sure.
Great. Thank you. Are we done?
Damn. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Does he have
That's
another
fine.
point?
I don't know.
What's the point?
I'm sure Alan has another point.
I have another point. Shut up, Jake.
Ugh.
Okay, let me talk to somebody who has that answer. Okay,
no.
Dylan. Okay.
Yes.
I watched the McShay chat on Dante Moore and Ty Simpson earlier.
Yeah, I
today.
haven't gotten to it yet. The rough draft episode, yeah.
Watch it because what he said about Dante Moore going to the pros makes all the sense in the world. If I was him, I would not go to the pros. Again, I know he might be a top 5 pick. He's not remotely close to being ready, and it would be very bad advice for him to leave. I know Stein went to Kentucky, but they handpicked his replacement, who happened to be the assistant for Stein. So I would not be surprised if Moore goes back to school.
Yeah, there's continuity there for sure.
Yeah. Moore should not go to the pros. I know he might be a top 5 pick. He's not even close to ready to play. If he would get drafted by the Jets, he'd have to sit at least a year. And it makes no sense.
Yes.
They call me Alan and everybody hates me cause I'm a super douchebag.
All right, Alan. So it went from Moore's not coming out to now he is going to come out, but you're already preparing for you to be the anti-Moore guy, of course. It's just no matter what the Jets could do, Alan will hate it. And his whole goal, people, is for the Jets to remain terrible. If Dante Moore could be a top 5 pick, he's going to come out, and he should come out. It makes too much sense to not come out.
Yeah. Although I will agree to his point. Like, if he ended up on the Vegas Raiders or the Jets, like, I would love to watch him sit for 8 to 16 games, hopefully closer to 16 games. And I'm even in the camp of like, I'm not putting Mendoza out there week 1. Like I would rather have him sit for 8 to 16 games. I don't think a lot of these quarterbacks are ready. And that's lack of development at college, a lot of different
Mendoza's
things.
the only one that has like who's the first round graded guy that's played the amount of games he's played.
Yes. Yeah. He's like really the only name you could invoke. And then you get to like the John Mateers of the world and nobody wants them apparently. So I don't know. I'm intrigued to see what John Mateer does in the college football playoffs.
Ladies and gentlemen, Craig in Australia. And then we have the Gorminator to close us out before the raffle. Hello, Craig.
This is truly incredible timing because I was going to ask you to ask Charles when you spoke to him next, because Charles knows every superhero in the history of superheroes. And I asked him in his chat on his show yesterday if he'd heard of Vegemite Man. And he scratched his head for quite a while, actually, trying to think, do I know this guy? Should I know this guy? So if you could ask him for me, if he's found out.
You'll never get my chicken soup recipe. I'm not saying that Lowski takes steroids. Please stop laughing. Hey, Charles. Who is that lovely lady? Say it this way,
Hello, Craig. How are you?
Good, mate. How you going? What have you
You
found
asked me
out?
that question. I was like, what the hell is he talking about? And I looked it up. I don't think that character exists, but I'm sure maybe he exists. I don't know if that character exists, but anyways, I wanted to show Jake.
Yeah, he does. And do you know the
I think he
Vegemite
does.
song, Charles? There's a whole Vegemite song, Charles.
There is.
I heard of the song, but not the character.
He has a salty shield. He has mighty strength. He has umami mastery and yeasty flight. So I think you need to look a bit closer, Charles. I know it's Southern Hemisphere and it might be out of your range a little bit, but you'll find it very interesting. And he has a sidekick, like Batman has Robin. So we know who it is. So you need to find out and get back to me. And then we'll know if you're serious about the superhero business. All right? I'm trying to help you out here. More content.
Thank you.
All right.
Right,
Hey,
thank
Dylan, whereabouts are you based? Like what state?
I'm in
are you
upstate South Carolina.
Oh, damn it. I'm doing a massive tour in May of the US. I'm adding states to people I have to visit. I have to visit Gary and Alan in Dallas, the boys in LA. I'm going to drive up through New Jersey, having barbecue with Dre Day. It's all happening. So I think that's probably going to be
if we could coordinate, I'll make a trip up to New Jersey for my own, like go see family and stuff like that and come see you. Absolutely.
I'll keep you posted. Don't worry about it.
Absolutely.
And Jake, I think you're late for your dinner because it's your fault. You need to stop taking calls.
It's my fault. Everybody wants to talk to me today, Craig. That's what it is. It's my fault.
Dylan brings the best out of people.
Or the worst. I don't know.
Jake, text me your dinner venue and I'll tell you if it's any good because chances are I've been there.
You know what, Craig? You're absolutely right. He's been everywhere. The great Craig in Australia.
The international man.
Hey, Charles, show up that signed LaDainian Tomlinson photo that you won in the raffle this week.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm holding. Yeah, look at that thing.
Hell yeah, Charles.
You got to get a frame for that, Charles.
Yeah, we got to hang it up. Set that cross is not the only thing hanging up in your apartment.
Thank you. Appreciate that one shot, buddy.
Oh, Gorman went through the washing machine.
I don't go through the wall. Oh, shit. Don't tell me exactly. Oh,
go on your. Oh, he's gone. Yeah, good Lord.
Curtains.
All right. Well, I was gonna try and get to Steve NYC. I know you were on hold. Call in tomorrow. I'll make sure that we get you on the show. Hold on. Gorman's called back. I'll try this one more time. Charles, are you there?
yes. I'm here.
Continue with your call, Mr. Gorman.
Look, I understand where Jiggy is coming from in certain points. I do agree that the defense did quit on Wilkes. But also part of me does believe to some degree they did quit on Glenn, but we shall see, obviously, this Sunday the Jets are playing the Saints at New Orleans, so we'll see what happens.
Now, Gorman, earlier in the show, Mad Max demonstrated his ability to hit the bag. What did you think of his form?
Oh, God.
Well, I think Purple Bell might have some really good pointer. You got to keep your chin down a little bit. You can't put it up because you'll get hit. And you can't hold on one second. There's my laptop.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Getting sketchy here, Charles.
You gotta put your fists up like this, and you gotta go like that. You gotta move with your body while you punch. You gotta move your body. You gotta move your body when you're punching. Because if you do that, it'll get all your weight and power behind it.
Yeah, well, you at least have better form than Mad Max, Charles. I'll give you that.
It's been a while since I hit the bag. I will not lie. It's been a while since I took martial arts lessons.
What about the bong?
I never did the bong.
All right. Did you hit the bong? Not did it.
You mean the little sack thing?
The what?
Charles doesn't know what a bong is.
Oh, you mean the drug thing? No, I don't do that.
The
no.
drug thing.
Drug.
I love it, Charles.
Just wanted to. Also, I got my Ravens jersey. I'll show that to everybody. Best jet of my lifetime.
How much did that cost?
Good amount of money.
Splurging for the holiday season, Charles.
Yes, I'm partying with joy.
There's that sound.
That bonging
sound.
That's all I really got to say. Have a good day, gentlemen.
Charles, thank you.
Where'd you find that sound, Jake? Just on the internet?
Yeah, you know, it had
Just typed in bong clearing sound.
I typed in Charles Gorman smoking the boubange. Hey, how about this from Johnny Bobani? He made himself a channel member and then said, I want in on the raffle. 11 total entries, a 10 spot of channel memberships at the buzzer here. I'm counting the names as we speak. Big time from Johnny Bobani. All right, I am legitimately counting names, though. 1, 2, 3, 5. He's got 11. I'm bad at math. Well done, Johnny Bobani. Thank you for supporting the show. If you got a gifted membership from him, make sure you thank him. The following 10 listeners just did. FPP, Skip Donahue, Ochenta, Andrew IC, Mad Max, Can You Hear Me, Bitches, EYSL Studio, Big Islander fan, Mario Rapallo, MDB X24, Jesse Picario, all receiving a channel membership. Dun, dun, dun. Dylan, any final thoughts before we bring on Michael Blubber to announce the Wheel of Champions?
No, man, I think we covered it all. I've said enough takes to get the chat mad at me, but then just enough to get them back on my side. So I think we did a good amount of analysis.
What are they mad at you for specifically? The Murray take again?
Dude, I think it's Murray. I mean, people are saying I didn't want Rodgers back. People are saying I'm a Zach truther. I mean, I'm kind of getting it from all angles, which is fine. I don't care. There's
By the way, you see Zach saying, I don't understand.
I'm frustrated.
Yeah,
yeah, bro, you're frustrated, my ass, dude. You knew exactly why you got passed over. You're trash. Like, let's be honest. So.
Dude, it's easy to say the Jets ruin quarterbacks, and you want to like give credit to Sam. Absolutely, Geno having like a career renaissance, like 3 teams after he was a Jet. Okay, fine. Again, Zach Wilson, the Jets did not ruin. He just sucked. That is one of the worst draft picks of all time. Again, he's not even going to get a chance to play for Miami. He's getting passed over for a 7th-round rookie quarterback. That's insane.
Yeah, no, it's – and honestly, I would do the same thing. Quinn Ewers at least gives you like a glimpse of potential for the future. Like Zach Wilson is not. Zach Wilson is going to probably.
But he was supposed to. That was the whole point, right? He learned from
Right.
Sean Payton, and now he's at Mike McDaniel's, an offensive genius, and they have no use for him.
Yep, which is hilarious because who was the other quarterback on their practice squad in Denver this year? He was about to get poached, but he literally said, I'm going to stay here with Sean Payton.
Sam Ehlinger.
That's it. Sam Ehlinger. Thank you. So it's like Zach could have done that too and at least stayed in that system and tried to progress that way. Like I don't see it with Zach. I never did see it with Zach. Let's be honest. I was a Fields guy in 2021, less of a Fields guy in 2025, but
Just
never a Zach guy. I'm sorry. You're throwing a Gunnar Romney at BYU. Yeah. You were throwing a Puka Nacua on the other side. Let's not forget about that. But you had literally one of the best wide receivers in the NFL now, and you like flamed out completely. So it's tough.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
You clown sucking douchebag. This is the Macho Man Randy Savage here with you. We're gonna kick it off with a little surprise. Need a little excitement. Step into a Slim Jim. Ooh, yeah. And now, let's spin the wheel of champions. Take it away, Jake Asman. Ooh,
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac Raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Wow. That was stunning. Macho Man Beastbreaker.
I was just gonna call him Nacho Man.
Beast, well done, sir. You are brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say good luck to everyone who entered today. There only could be one winner in this raffle, but you're all automatically entered in the weekly raffle on Tuesday. For any of these signed items, we will give away them. But today we give away a signed ball by the great Chad Pennington. Good luck to everyone. If you win, please email me, asmanjake@gmail.com, your name and address so we know where to send the autographed football to. Dylan, call your shot. Who wins the Pennington ball?
Well, I was on last week when Matt L won, and then I named him Matt W. So I'm going to go with my guy, Matt W. He's going to take home another prize.
Ladies and gentlemen, we find out right now. It's our favorite train conductor, Mike Perez. Shout out to Mike. He's your winner. Hit the Jet chant for him, people. Congrats to Mike. Well deserved. Mike, shoot me an email, and I'll make sure we get that signed ball sent your way when it comes in. Hopefully either tomorrow or probably early next week. I'll be able to get it sent out to you when it arrives. On that note, DT, when is the next DT experience dropping so people could go subscribe and check out all your content?
Well, it should have been out already. For the 40 minutes leading up to this show, I was recording content to put out for the remainder of the week. One of the videos got sound included, and the 30-minute preview video of the Jets Saints did not have any sound. So after I go take a ride to get some dinner, I'll come back and I'll do the preview. I have a ton of film breakdowns. Carnell Tate is the most recent one. I did Mekhi Lemon and Jacoby Lane from USC, those two wideouts. I'm going to be getting into the Senior Bowl stuff because those names are coming in heavily in terms of accepted invites. And Believe in Jets is the audio-only version of the podcast. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, you will find an audio-only version. But the Dylan Tereman Football Show on YouTube, as well as Draft Talk with DT, where I try to find a fun draft-centric topic to talk about. So tons of content coming out, both Jets and draft-related. So at Dylan Tereman on YouTube, as you see it right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a tremendous night. Enjoy the game. Let's see if Sam Darnold could show up in primetime against Matthew Stafford and the Rams. We'll be watching that. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Fireman Ed is our guest on the first show. Nick Fario will be our guest on the second show. So looking forward to having our 2 Friday regulars back with us. Again, thanks to everyone who tuned in today. Thank you to DT for joining us. Thank you to Mad Max for whatever the heck this is. And I love all of you. Thanks for watching. Go Jets. 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 Mad Max wants to buy your ticket.
I'll pay you.
Hold on a second. Gorman at the buzzer. Why would you gift after the raffle? Either way, you're in the raffle for one, Charles. I'll put you down for the daily prize tomorrow morning. On that note, go Jets. Mad Max wants to buy your ticket.
I'll pay you 25. Is that too little for you?
I won't go under 100.
Or $105. Does that sound good, Big Show?
105?
Yes.
Wait, hold on a second. Why are you negotiating the opposite direction?
I'm just negotiating with Big Show. I'll buy your ticket, you know.
What are you saying, 105?
105.
$105.
105. Yes, sir. For one ticket for the Panthers game.
All right, Jake, that's good.
Sounds good, Jake.
A deal has been made. Big Cho has officially sold his ticket to Mad Max.
Sounds good, Jake.
One of the worst negotiations I've ever witnessed, but a deal did get done.
Okay. We'll do it live. No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Right. Fucking thing sucks.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets.